the eyes right now. The centerpiece of our democracy is that we observe court rulings, criminal court rulings, civil court rulings, and constitutional court rulings. No one is above the law. And whether we like it or not, the courts interpret the law. So yes, throughout the history of the United States, the courts have made rulings on when the executive branch is exercising legal power and when they are going beyond the power that they have.
Happy constitutional crisis, everybody.
Well,
we're soaking in it. You know what it needs? This constitutional crisis needs one more whore. Oh, look, there's one. There's one. There's one.
Jody Jingle.
Jody Jingle. There we go. All right.
It's up at the top.
We could sing it at this point. It's Jody on the show.
There we go.
Also with microphones.
Jody on the show. That's what we're waiting for.
There we go.
I'm gonna talk with Steffi. Who's our favorite for? Nothing really grows.
Yes.
Jody on the show with Steffi.
Hi, we have 17 microphones now. Do any of them work?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
This one working?
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe punch it up a bit. Yeah.
There we go. Hi, good morning, Jody. Happy constitutional crisis. We have arrived. Also, it looks like you just blew up the Middle East deal, the hostage deal. Is there anything else? Wow. Happy Tuesday. Yeah. Keith Olbermann was the first to tweet. Have we noticed yet that this moronic madman Trump just blew up the Hamas-Israel hostage deal because his latest delusion is that he's the owner of Gaza? Yeah, how many? It's like been going on 11 billion years, the negotiations, for the right of return. And he's asked on Fox News, can the Palestinians go back? No, you know why? Because, by the way, Chris, you always say he's a timeshare salesman. That was literally timeshare salesman.
It was.
He's like, no, they're going to have beautiful homes somewhere else. We're going to take them a little bit farther away from there. And then they're going to be somewhere very beautiful. And no, it's not much nicer. They're not going to be able to go back.
He's missing a light. We're going to take it up there.
What they've considered their homeland for 11 billion years. They won't be able to go back. What? Oh, there's a light on that? On those Palestinians? And he's going to take it to their...
Grinch.
Oh, that's all right. We're still calling audibles. She has a little tiny training wheels on, not big ones.
Why, my sweet little tot.
He is the Grinch. The Grinch who stole Gaza.
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side.
Okay.
So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here.
Okay. That Christmas special was on 50 years before Bella was born.
It was. Yeah.
Pretty much was.
It's still good, though.
It's really good.
Okay, so we're at the, where everybody said we're going, right? Jody, we are at the define court orders. I said that when they did this order, I'm like, who's forcing compliance? As already a judge, of course, is saying they're not complying. And so we knew we were going to get here. Who would have seen this coming, right? With the Supreme Court said he's above the law. Now he's acting like he's above the law. Yeah. So crazy.
Weird, right?
Yeah. Is your microphone actually working or is it?
I have no control.
No, now that's not working. Okay.
Want me to try this?
Oh, no.
They're both up all the way.
They're both up all the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello? Wait, that one's
Okay,
working.
that one's
Okay,
working now.
good.
Okay, because we just had the guy put in the things so that they work.
He's coming back tomorrow to make even more adjustments.
Okay, good. Okay, so, wow. I don't know. We're going to need more legal lads and ladies to explain. I don't think they can even explain this anymore. Can they, Jody? What are you going to do? They're clearly like betting it's his Supreme Court. And whenever they'll just go, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, this is what happens when an entire party collapses because it's their power too.
Right.
That they're just saying, oh no, none of this needs congressional authority. Right?
The Supreme Court hasn't ruled his way every single time.
True.
So we have a little bit of hope there.
Right. True. I'm sorry. I know we're all distracted by the Nancy Mace story, so let's just talk about this.
Can we, please?
The show. I understand we're in a constitutional crisis.
This is nuts.
He has blown up the Middle East. However, I don't know what to say. Is it not a symptom of how just bat crazy this entire party has gotten? I hope this story isn't true, but it is wildly inappropriate to go on the House floor.
Yes, that's the part.
Ex and 4 other men of drugging and raping her, but she didn't go to a prosecutor. She went on the House floor where you were saying she has
immunity.
Right.
So he can't sue.
Yeah, for immunity from libel.
Right, for libel. And so Jody, as you said, as women, we're like, I hope this isn't true. but she just seems so wildly insane and inappropriate. We were talking about the prayer breakfast, where she literally the prayer breakfast. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late, but I was my boyfriend. I mean, or some version of that.
Yeah.
Like she's, or she's bullying trans Congress people. Was that her too? When she went in the bathroom
Yes,
and
that was her. It wasn't.
she mistakenly
It was
accused
Boebert too.
Boebert too. Yeah, I don't. They're all. It's hard to keep these crazies.
It wasn't.
apart.
It wasn't her that called Sarah McBride the gentleman.
No, that's a different.
That's a different
No, I'm talking about
crazy.
she, confronted her who she thought was Sarah McBride in the bathroom,
Right.
and it wasn't her. So
Right.
okay. So she went on the House floor, and this went on for what, almost an hour, and accused
50 minutes.
her former fiance and 3 other men of having drugged and raped her and other women, and of filming and taking lewd photographs of women and underage girls without their consent. So you were telling me the crazy part of this story is she didn't remember this, but then she watched the tape and realized it was her in
Yep.
the.
Only when she heard her voice.
Okay. In a stunningly graphic speech on the House floor that had little precedent,
Yeah.
you
You
think?
think?
I'm trying to picture my dad being on the House floor listening to this. She said the men who she named and displayed photographs of on a placard where lawmakers more typically display charts and graphs on policy issues were involved in the premeditated, calculated exploitation of innocent women and girls in my district. She said, "You booked yourself a one-way ticket to hell," she said, referring to the men directly at one point. She offered no evidence to support
Right.
the accusations.
Right.
So, but that means none of those men either could sue for libel if she, okay, because it was on the House floor.
If she's asked about it in an interview, on the other hand, then she could be sued. And my
Right.
telephone keeps going
Right.
in and out.
Okay, now I can't hear you again.
There we go.
There you go.
I just have to cough.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to say that we wanted the microphone to work all the time. That was probably our mistake. We said yes. No, intermittent is fine. Is that cheaper?
Unfortunately, we can't test it until we're on the air.
No.
So
Yeah. Well, there we go. We hope you enjoyed this test of the emergency Stephanie Miller broadcast
We'll
system.
try to troubleshoot later.
How far can we be from color bars anyway? Trump's America. Can I tell you? Can we play something for you that will be cleansing for your soul? Because I talked about this yesterday, Jody. You could tell when you watched on Fox, because you could hear booing too when they went to Trump, but they put canned applause over it. How in North Korea is that? What level of fascism is that where they tried to make it look like dear leader was, cheered? And people said yesterday, they're like, oh, wait till the video starts coming out of people that were there. And sure enough, this one is like right on when he walked out of the field. This is right. I mean, he had to be like, 20 yards away. Like he was right there. And so, he heard all this. But anyway, yeah. Oh my God, I love you each. I want to kiss and date and marry every single person in that stadium. It's going to take me a while, but just you and the traitor over and over again. He heard it. Oh my God. Yes, Jeffrey said Trump got booed at the Super Bowl because of the American people just love being lied to, having prices go up, and Project 2025. He sure would hate for this to go viral. I mean, this is the thing about the truth, is you can't, suppress it forever. I knew there was something weird when I was watching. I was like, that sounds weird because I hear boos, but it sounds like canned applause or something, I mean, okay. Excuse me, where am I? I'm sorry, there's a lot of... Sorry, talk amongst yourselves.
rutabaga, rutabaga, rutabaga.
How are you today, Chris?
Can't hear you now.
Oh, boy.
This is fun.
Okay. All right. Oh, that was the other thing we forgot to say. We need to hear everyone that's on the show. I forgot that
There are
part.
a lot
too.
of adjustments that need to be made.
All right.
You,
Yes.
you change one adjustment, others go awry.
Oh, dear.
It's a thing.
Oh, dear.
At least your mic works.
Yeah, that's the important.
yeah,
Thank
one
you,
that
Bella.
matters.
Thank you for recognizing
Well,
priorities.
yeah, that is the priority.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Doy.
The rest of us are just like
You all
bottom
sound
feeders.
like Walter the dog to me anyway. So-
Your window treatment.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I hear when I say, what do you think? Fill in the blank. No, it's like Woodstock. I just exclamation points. That's all I see.
Woodstock the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hear clicks and exclamation points
Uh-huh.
until it's my turn to talk again.
We're flying upside down in
Right.
curly cues. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You thought yourself was funny.
I did. I enjoyed myself just then, and I thought it's good that only my mic works.
Well-
okay.
It sounds like the rest of us are kind of working on it.
Yeah, we're coming
Okay.
back. We're coming back.
Here's the other part of our constitutional crisis: not just the punishing of enemies, but the Chris tweets in an extraordinary letter. Trump's DOJ tells Manhattan U.S. attorney to dismiss the corruption case against Mayor Adams. DOJ. Fox News reports they're dropping the case just months after Adams spent his time groveling to Trump. This is injustice. This
Yep.
is corruption in plain sight.
Yep.
The rule of law is now officially dead. Rest in peace, rule of law in America. Right? Bend the knee. He's been bending the knee. Like, no wonder Bill Maher. It's always, you know what? That's the warning sign when Bill Maher loves somebody.
Yeah.
And you could have had Maya Wiley, New York. You could have had Maya Wiley. Mayor Adams, does he have a jingle? No, he does not.
She says that. We have lived that cut. We lived
No,
that
that's
cut
not
as
it. That's not it.
That's a jingle.
It's okay.
I think that's a soundbite.
That's what was in there.
Okay.
Oh, we have a Maya Wiley jingle.
Yeah, there's one in there. Here,
All right.
Let me see if I can pull it up from my email.
Oh, all right. We'll find it. Anyway, just unbelievable corruption. Unbelievable. And just what's going on with Elon Musk. And what did JoJo call them? The Doge bags and Doge bags. I'm going to steal that.
Having an orgasm of epic proportions right now. Because Maya Wiley today.
When someone's best friend, it's more like borrowing like a handbag, right? I mean, yeah, technically I stole it from her, but I'm just going to say we're sharing it like a cute handbag. The Doge bags. Elon Musk and the Doge bags. Okay, now we can
Bad
do.
band.
But that was me that started
An
it.
orgasm of epic proportions right now. Because Maya Wiley today. One of my legal ladies.
Wile-E super genius.
I am your biggest and creepiest fan.
Defies out of sight with Maya.
Howdy,
Combo dynamite with Maya.
Mrs. Wiley.
Via satellite in
Yeah.
Maya.
Maya Wiley's coming, bitches.
Yeah. Okay. Or at least you could have had a V8, either one, but not Eric Adams. Jody, we have a big show that may explode today. What with all the, lawlessness and the general sweep of arms. Yes, that. We have Charlie Pierce, Pastor John Pavlovitz, and Representative Ro Khanna all on in addition to Jody on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, half of the stuff doesn't work in here. But listen, we have really good content that if you could hear it, you would love it. But can't have everything. 19 minutes.
Hi, and welcome back to the beginning of the fourth week of the first 100 days of Donald Trump. It's day 22, and there's a lot that's been going on today. Well, let's start with the easiest stuff. Donald Trump eliminated the penny. Numismatists will be happy, and, that's not that big a deal, actually. But Donald Trump, more importantly, says he owns the Gaza, and Palestinians are no longer welcome there. He says it's his. He's going to make it a big real estate project, make it big and beautiful, just no Palestinians. He also announced a 25% steel and aluminum tariff, which means a lot of things with steel and aluminum in them are going to go way up in price. Just remember how people bitched about eggs? Well, it's going to get worse. And finally, Donald Trump has defied a court order. This will be the first of many he'll defy, as he already took over he's the chair of the Kennedy Center. Now he's defying court orders. Donald Trump is the state. American democracy is dead. Or tomorrow.
It's it's basically like he's putting a kick me sign, but it's an attack me sign on the United States of America. And because I can't help myself, Ron, I've never been this way, but I'm like, you said it yourself about the BB conversations. I'm losing my mind going, like, could it be? Like, could it be that he's opening the door to the kind of an attack that will give him an opportunity to use emergency fucking powers to seize total control of the government at once and for all?
Oh, hey there, it's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com, hit that subscribe button, and become part of the keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.
Now more than ever, people need to work with companies that share their values. Credo Mobile has donated nearly $100 million to help progressive organizations fight for reproductive rights, social justice, the environment, and equality. Credo Mobile offers a world-class mobile network and gives people a real choice when it comes to working with companies they know are making a positive difference in the world. Visit credomobile.com today and make the call to action.
On Drake's grave, what?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just read it in my new Gen Z slang.
Well, Serena and Drake.
Because she used to be with Drake.
Yes, they used to
yeah.
date.
Right. So it was a part of the whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar rap war. That that's why Serena Williams was there because.
And that's why Bella had to explain it to you yesterday.
Yeah. Crip walking on Drake's grave, y'all.
I don't know what any of that means.
Wow. You know what? So this Nancy Mace story, can I just say there's another level of crazy that I didn't even get to in the first.
Right.
So for nearly an hour, she went on the House floor where she's immune from libel laws and accused her ex-fiance and 4 other men of drugging and raping her, and that she didn't remember until she heard her voice on the video. Something.
Well, I mean, if she was drugged, that's a side effect of that. I mean,
so the South Carolina Attorney General says this was never referred to his office, but Nancy Mace branded him a do-nothing and claimed he failed to act under accusations after allegedly having turned over everything, quote unquote. Did South Carolina's Attorney General have any of these predators indicted after being provided clear-cut and dry evidence, including video, photos, and witnesses? A spokesperson for the Attorney General's office says her attack is categorically false. So how many levels of crazy is that? I mean, okay.
She will be interviewed about it, and if she says anything, she will be sued.
Yeah, okay. I just, you know what? I need my Karen in Chicago. The world is just too much this morning. Hello. Hi, Karen.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it seems like, Madison Cawthorn talked about the Republican mixers that go on all the time. I don't know. I mean, but oh my God. Anyway, I just want to say the reason I called was, can we just put to bed that both sides do it BS?
Yes.
That the media loves to sell. Okay. Rod Blagojevich. Okay. I voted for the guy.
Yeah.
He's a Democrat.
Right.
We hold our own accountable. They are the pro-criminal party.
Yeah.
They don't care. There's no accountability. You can break as many crimes as long as you suck up to the convicted felon 47, then all is well. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say anymore. And it's just like, I just feel like everything is slipping through our fingers, and it's like, it's watching this train wreck happening, and there's literally nothing we can do about it aside from call the DNC, tell them to fund these special elections.
Yeah.
Because we need to flip the House if we have a fighting chance to do anything to stop this from going.
Did you see this one? 2 planes crashed on the runway at Scottsdale Airport. At least one person has died after an aircraft crash on a runway Monday at Scottsdale Airport around 2:30 p.m. Officials say a jet veered off the runway, crashed into another jet.
And I think that was Vince Neil's jet.
We are 3 weeks into this administration.
The plane was owned by Vince Neil of Motley Crue.
Yeah, he wasn't on the plane.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. But here, did you hear this one? 19-year-old, they appointed him to a top position at the State Department. What
And that would be a different, by the way. Yeah, that would be a different 19-year-old than the one that's referred to as Big Balls.
Yes.
On the internet, who is, rooting around in the Treasury and your Social Security payments. Okay.
Bob, it's good to see you. Welcome back to midweek 2. How you doing? How you holding up?
Pretty good. You know what? All in all, I think it was a decent day. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go out on a limb with that, but I feel like this was a bad day for Donald Trump. And if it's a bad day for Donald Trump, it's a good day for democracy. It's a good day for me. It's a good day for everybody. And the reason I'm saying that, John, is there were 2 major fuck-ups that Donald Trump had to deal with today, and his solution to that was revealing as far as how big the fuck-ups were, and so he had to come up with something gigantic to get people to stop talking about the 2 big fuck-ups.
My point is that's the Gitmo thing. The Gitmo thing was so we don't talk about the other colossal fuck-ups.
Right.
Now,
exactly.
Liberals are playing their part and clutching their pearls and freaking out over what Man Baby's done, even though Man Baby's never going to get to do it. Yeah. So we're not talking about these other cock-ups that he's perpetrated and has been smacked down for.
Yeah. And to be clear, the 2 big fuck-ups were obviously the spending freeze got blocked in court, and then the way the White House handled it was absolutely ridiculous, incompetent, and in keeping with everything that we've seen from Donald Trump and the people around Donald Trump. And then the other thing was, of course, the RFK hearings, which were just an
Well,
utter
and by the way,
disaster.
don't leave out the fact that if another judge slapped down his birthright citizenship bullshit just last week, and
Oh, yes.
he and Elon's new government buyout of federal workers is completely unfunded and illegal. So there's a lot of humiliation going on in the same day.
Oh, yeah. And that's all. Yeah. As you said, it's all happening at once. And so in order to compensate for that, he had to wheel out. It was just unbelievable that he had to go to Guantanamo, the detention camp at Guantanamo, the concentration camp at Guantanamo. And the reason I know that that was bullshit to an extent was because he hasn't signed an executive order yet. This was something he just blurted in the moment as a way to get people to stop talking about the other things. And so there was no plan in place. We don't know. Experts have been saying there aren't 30,000 beds at Guantanamo. There's not room for 30,000 people at Guantanamo. There are no details. Is he going to send children there? Is it going to be migrants who commit serious crimes inside the United States, or just any migrants? How long are they going to be there? Are they going to have access to legal counsel?
And why even ask? Why even ask? Since it's never going to happen. This is it.
Right.
This is the mouth shoots out the tennis balls, and the media is the dog that has to chase down every single one, down every river and valley the tennis ball goes to. And in reality, by the time the media catches that tennis ball and proves it's bullshit, there will have been 40 more tennis balls vomited from his machine-like mouth.
Oh, yeah. And I wonder, John, if there's a list of things that they can go to distract people from all of their various incompetent fuck-ups and so on. And Guantanamo would probably be on that list. Certainly it is on the list because we saw it today get wheeled out. But I wonder, like, I was thinking of that movie Vice about Dick Cheney with Christian Bale and how they were contemplating doing a puppet show with their penises on the White House lawn. I'm just wondering if that's maybe on the list. Like, at some point, Donald Trump's going to put on a puppet show with his penis, and that's going to get people to stop talking about God only knows what's next coming from these incompetent morons.
I mean, I'm still convinced before this is over, we will see video of his dick. He'll be the first president whose dick we see. Bill Maher said that like years ago that we'll see a president's dick. I'm sure it'll be his. And I'm sure there's foreign rulers that already have those digital images in their possession. Can I ask you about Bobby Kennedy, Bob? Because I think that's the real big distraction of the day. I have this crazy theory, which is that Donald Trump has already gotten all the value out of RFK he's ever going to need and doesn't need him anymore. So he doesn't really have to care what happens, and he will brush the dirt off his shoulder like it.
They still have the power to hold everybody else in this country in contempt if they do not follow lawfully issued court orders.
Thank you, Senator Professor Elizabeth Warren. Jody, I can't even keep up. Can you? This is how much chaos we have. Like, what suit is who and which judge? This is just. Can you imagine this for 4 years? This kind of just lawlessness and chaos, and he does something illegal, and a judge stops it, and then they don't comply with that, and then and it's going to be on everything. So the federal judge ordered the Trump administration to resume payments for federal programs after the White House violated a previous order blocking a federal funding freeze. This was Judge John McConnell in Rhode Island warned that not complying with a court order could lead to contempt of court, which is, of course, it's a crime. Remember?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, like forever. The last 11 billion years anyway, It's a crime. Yeah, he said the reality is we should not be here. If the president followed the law, we wouldn't have to be here. Well, this is what happens when a convicted felon gets. Oh, by the way, the new Not My Felon 47 shirts are available. Isn't it delightful?
It is delightful.
StephanieMiller.com. Thanks for asking. Thanks. This is story after story from NBC. The nation may be edging closer to a constitutional crisis. I'd say we're in it, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're not edging, so to speak.
I see what you did there.
It's come. The constitutional crisis has come. There's no more edging. Okay, that microphone doesn't work. Try the other one.
No, she's making adjustments.
All right.
Trying to help.
There we go. All right, Jody's back. It's kind of cool that you're back in studio every Tuesday. We can't hear you anyway.
I love
you
that.
might as well be home.
I might as well just be at home.
Right.
It'd be easier on Zoom. I could have my
No!
cats. You know how much I dislike Zoom.
Oh, Jody Hamilton will be filling in for Mama the week of March 24th.
And Tuesdays with the Goth Ninjas start today on Bob Seska.
Oh, yes. Jody and David will be Bob Seska's co-hosts on Tuesday and Thursday, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can always say see you next Tuesday to Jody. Okay. So back to the edging. The nation may be edging closer to a constitutional as senior White House officials bristle over a string of court orders stymieing Trump's agenda, sparking fears they may ignore judicial decision. Well, he already has, right? I mean, this is the judge in Rhode Island I just mentioned. So we'll see what happens with that. The courts can be expected to do this, said one White House official. The unfortunate part is the wait time to get it to the Supreme Court if necessary. That's what the unfortunate thing that it's called our constitutional system of checks and balances. This is what they're betting all the marbles on, is that, Trump's corrupt Supreme Court will just say yes to anything. Like, yep, no more, congressional power of the purse, no more, nothing, right?
Right.
You don't have to agree, but it's just, I know everything I say is so right that it's hard not to just say right.
I rarely agree with you, but when I do agree with you, I agree with you.
Listen, eye candy. Can I just say,
say that one more time?
This is why we tolerate Chris Lavoie for how many years now? Where is it?
11 billion.
Yeah, on Blue
Longer
Sky.
than Bella's been alive.
Cousin T on Blue Sky said, I love Chris's butt in front of the camera. More of that.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I was making adjustments yesterday.
That's a niche thing.
And you were wearing those yellow shorts.
Yeah. Look at I hired new young eye candy. I am a cheap flesh peddler. I don't care who knows it. More butt shots for whatever that'll do with ratings. Do it, Chris. Do more ass.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. When J.D. Vance wrote, judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. What? Yes, they are. That is our constitutional system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's him like going, you're not the boss of us. Yes, that's how it works.
Ask Joe Biden about student debt relief.
Thank you. Ask whether the White House has a right to circumvent judges who are halting Trump's executive actions. Tommy Tuberville, Senator Football McDump, the dumbest senator in the world, said, yeah, I think they do. Huh?
He's one of our finest legal minds, Stephanie.
Yeah. Alberto Gonzales, the torture czar, said to willfully ignore the courts could be grounds for impeachment in my judgment. Oh my God, when the torture czar says, oh, yeah. I mean, but this is the problem, is they're too much cowards. They're not going to ever impeach him. So they're like, oh, well, there goes that check or balance.
Yep.
Lawrence Tribe said Vance's arguments, if one can call them that, are entirely without merit and sound to me like strong hints the White House and Musk contingent are planning to ignore court rulings that they find inconvenient or that they see as hostile to their takeover agenda. U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer, that's the other one, issued an emergency order blocking Musk from and who let the Doge out? You know what I'm talking about? The Doge bags.
Right.
Yeah, them. And
Who let the Doge? Doge.
Okay. Yeah, Musk had written on X then, the judge is protecting corruption and needs to be impeached now. I mean, this is just, they are completely lawless, top to bottom. It just becomes like, oh no, that judge needs to go because he's, okay. So we're up to, I think it's 22 states. Is that where we are?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God, it's all legal stack now.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about crip walking some more.
What is crip walking?
Well, it's that was the dance that Serena Williams was doing. They call it crip walking because it's, Crips of the Crips and Bloods.
She famously got in trouble for doing that.
Yeah.
When
she said she couldn't do it at Wimbledon.
At Wimbledon, yeah. So double entendre, double meeting.
And they gave her a talking to?
Yeah. No, she got
in England. The Queen was not amused.
Yeah.
I said no crip walking. I'm clearly a blood.
With her Dubonnet.
But I can't be fact checked because she's dead.
Right.
Yeah. She was hopped up on Dubonnet when she said that. In her defense. But she was always hopped up on Dubonnet. Okay, where was I? 22.
I don't know.
Stop distracting me from hard news. 22 states attorneys filed lawsuit against the Trump administration's decision to slash research funding by limiting how it pays out universities and research institutes for indirect costs. The lawsuit lists National Institutes of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services as defendants, said the effect of the indirect rate changes are immediate and devastating. It is just boggles the mind. Like who at this point, are they pro-cancer? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
I'm still going to go out on a limb and say cancer's bad.
Whoa. That's a risky move there, lady.
That's putting your foot down.
Yeah.
Profile and courage. That's me. Hi, Lucretia in Milwaukee. Hello.
Hi, yes, good morning. Two things. The very first quick one I want to get off my chest right quick before I get to the main point.
Okay.
Who do I have to hump to get a jingle? I mean, Rocky Mountain Mike, if you're listening, can I please get a jingle?
What's the word for lollygagging? What's the Gen Z word? He's bed rotting and lollygagging instead of doing your jingle, Lucretia. That's it. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll say this. Like, the commander in beef, where the hell does he and the eyeliner model feel they don't have to listen to these federal judges? I mean, where are the so-called senators, not Congress, because those Republicans are a joke, that call themselves like following the law and order Constitution.
Yeah. Can I just say something though? David Jolly, our friend, the former Republican congressman, he stood up yesterday for Democrats. He was saying like this is ridiculous that anyone's blaming Democrats. I mean, and if you're listening to Chris Murphy and and others, they're doing everything they can and they're saying it as loudly as they can. But this is exactly what they want, is us to do a circular firing squad now. When it's their party. I mean, it's just the founders could never have envisioned an entire party collapsing in cowardice like this and just giving up their own authority. It's not even, how you feel about this issue or that, right? It's just them saying, no, we don't need the power of the purse. That's fine.
Yeah. We have a few fighters on our side.
Yeah. Zaid said Trump and Musk keep claiming they found government fraud. Fraud is a crime. Where are the charges? You can't just call spending you don't like fraud. That's called lying.
Right.
And as we keep saying, Jody, it's all projection. The fraud is him. He's getting rid of all the agencies that are investigating him. He has all these government contracts. He's helping himself. And it's just the fact that people still think, oh, he's cutting waste or they're finding fraud.
Where are the forensic accountants?
Right. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah. Why are you sending...
Hamilton's the smartest girl in class. They were saying you don't bring coders if you're trying to find what you bring accountants if you're trying to find fraud or waste.
Those are the audit people.
Right. Coders change codes.
Right.
That's, by the way, we had a code not coded like on ER coding, like
different kind of coding.
Right.
Different kind of code.
Thank you. Yeah. I just did the emoji with the two crosses in your eyes. Coding. Okay. Sorry, I watched too much Grey's Anatomy.
Using herself. Like flatlining.
We have a code blue.
Okay.
Flatlining.
I watched
code
a lot
red?
of Grey's Anatomy. What?
Code red, maybe?
Code blue.
Code blue is when someone's...
Is when someone's dead, like they're turning blue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly what that is.
All right.
Thank you.
You don't watch medical dramas, do you?
I know.
Grey's Anatomy?
No. Don't watch any.
This show gets off track a lot, and it is entirely my fault. All right.
Yes, you're the one who brought up codes.
Thank you. Another meme. Tristan Snell, our friend. Musk isn't making government smaller. He's shutting down the parts of the government that have been investigating his companies for safety violations and ties to Russia.
Yep.
Thank you, Tristan. Can we get Tristan? Also, he's dreamy. Let's get him back on soon, okay? Okay.
He is very handsome.
By the way, I thought I was the only one that mentioned this, thought of this, was thinking this during the entire Super Bowl. This meme, all of the let's stop hating each other commercials were annoying because we all know the source of the hatred and division is sitting right in the stadium with his bronzer and 34 convictions watching the game like he's not awful. I know. I was like, these commercials all feel like they're talking about you, right? And also, Snoop Dogg is saying at his inauguration, you can't do an anti-hate commercial, right?
With Tom Brady.
Yeah, who's also a Trumper.
Yep.
I mean... lots of people have more thoughts about the Super Bowl. I'm living in 2 days ago. Where are we? Oh, see, Bella? AJ says Serena Williams crip walked for 4 seconds and gained more yards than Kansas City did in the first half.
That's funny.
Okay. Yeah, and Kaylin, I was just wondering why I enjoyed this Eagles win so much. Patrick Mahomes is a company man. He's MAGA. He failed to officially endorse a presidential candidate during the 2024 campaign. More frequently, his wife Brittany have had public exchanges with Trump in support of each other. Watching him get owned so thoroughly by Jalen Hurts and the Eagles yesterday after their fans booed Donald Trump was just the slightest bit reminiscent of Jesse Owens dominating the 1936 Summer Olympic Games. You have a would-be fascist, a man who wants unrestricted control of everything, but he can't control his team into winning. It feels like the smallest of moral victories, but a victory nonetheless. It's just a little cut on the cheek of tyranny. Here's to hoping it festers. Thank you. And also, you remember the Eagles didn't want to go to the White House last time, so Trump is already, as usual in 8th grade going, you're not invited, because they weren't going to come anyway. Right. So I'm not inviting them. Fly, Eagles, fly is my point.
I texted Sean Comiskey after the game.
You know what happened to Kansas City? Boop. Coded.
Code blue. That's a code blue.
Okay, sorry.
See, I got that right.
I know. Now you got it. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Oh?
Could I have my shut up, Donnie? Thanks so much. This is Canada Hates Trump. I didn't even know there was an account called Canada Hates Trump.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's clear. Canada is a sovereign country. We have a free universal health care, a longer life expectancy than the USA, and we don't live in fear of getting shot up here. We will never be a part of the USA, you deranged, sociopathic, dumb. So shut the up.
Shut the up, Donnie.
Oh, Canada. Thank you. We're with you.
And that's nice. You're being nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Blame Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right, 47 minutes after the hour. This portion of the show, even when you're not here, I read our texts. You're here in spirit, in all your potty mouth glory.
You're with me in spirit in the dark of the night, Stephanie.
Yeah.
You're with me in spirit.
You saucy minx.
And body and spirit. And by with me, I mean inside of me.
Oh, Joe from you saucy, teasy little minx. You are a giant tease. Now, listen. No, we're like a rom-com. This is how cute last time we talked on the phone. She said something, hilarious and potty mouth and whatever, stuff I love.
Right.
And I just said, will you marry me? And there was this pause and she said, yes, I will. Very earnestly. You said it very earnestly, like we were not in the middle of a skit. It was.
Check her fingernails, though.
Yeah. Oh, they're probably too long. All right, let's start by saying, "Yay, Eagles! Boo!" Oh, she has short fingernails. That's throwing me off for a straight girl. That must be a mom thing.
Wait a minute. I think I'm on to you now. No, they're very utilitarian stuff.
Oh.
Pretty, but functional.
Oh, me too. I have gold. Mm-hmm. Can we start by saying yay Eagles and boo Donald Trump? Yay.
Yeah. I mean,
fly Eagles.
I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a Giants fan. But I will say it was difficult in the midst of the game. And George Conway can attest to this because he's an Eagles fan who's been recruiting me for a very long time to turn to the dark side. At some point in the game, I was like, I've been cheering for the Eagles like this whole time. What happened to me? As a Giants fan, it's like that kind of stuff gets you excommunicated. So, but boo Donald Trump, yes.
Well, boo Donald Trump. First of all, he's always wrong because he said the Chiefs were going to win, and then B, everything Trump touches dies because he complimented how great Patrick Mahomes is, and Patrick Mahomes sucked off back to him. And what happened? What happened, Joe? Patrick Mahomes got his ass kicked.
Boy, did he ever. I mean, how many times did that guy get sacked? He got sacked more than I did in college.
Hey,
I mean, it was like...
That's a whore joke. Hey.
Hey, I'm going to lean into it. And I did many times.
What?
I digress. But Snow, right, it was that. And why did they only show Tay-Tay one time? What was that all about?
Yeah. And because some maggots booed her, Trump's like, this is the thing I think I will never get over of all the horrors is hold on. He's just perpetually 8.
Yes.
Right? Trump taunted Taylor Swift. Yeah, because this is what you want in the leader of the free world. Taunted Taylor Swift claiming she was booed out of the stadium, which is, they said Trump erroneously claimed, because of course he did. There were some smattered boo, not as many boos as he got, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean, and nothing says presidential, like waking up in the middle of the night and being like, no greater failure than Taylor Swift. Like, it's like so petulant and sad. Assistant President Poopy Pants needs to stop.
Do you remember he tweeted that? I hate Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
But Travis didn't have her back, which I gotta say, was really disappointing. Because he was asked, how he felt about the president being at the game before the game, and he was like, "Oh, I'm honored to have." I'm paraphrasing, any president there. And I was like,
"Oh, he didn't get laid last night." Yeah.
No. Oh no.
Ooh, big loser. Andy said something nice about Trump. No. Tay-Tay's like, I'm gonna shake that off, but not tonight.
He had to shake it off alone.
Yeah.
That was a masturbation joke, ladies and gentlemen. Your code is so hard to break.
Master who?
It's your whore Da Vinci code.
It's like a horde decoder ring. Yeah, you got my horde decoder ring, Steph.
It's in my Cracker Jacks. What do I mean by that?
I have no idea. What are you talking about?
I don't know. We just talk
I don't know, but you are definitely the prize at the bottom of the box.
We are those two girls, everyone in the lunchroom is just will never sit anywhere near us because we're so clicky. We don't even understand our own clique. We don't even.
Remember the health films they would show? I was the kid in the back of the class going, all the jokes, right? All the jokes.
Yeah,
that's us stuff.
In Catholic school, they did a film strip about crab legs, and the teacher said they swing hair to hair, and I was like, Geronimo! And that got the biggest laugh, and that's probably when I became a comedian. You interrupt Jody and my Rock'em Sock'em Robot dance.
It was adorable.
All right, yes, go ahead, Chris.
Yes, Big Balls.
Yes,
the 19-year-old Doge Flack has been given senior advisor roles at the State Department and at Homeland Security.
He's 19.
Yep.
Oi.
He's got big balls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all have
apparently.
big balls.
Yeah. I've got the biggest balls of them all.
What do his parents think?
Yeah, I don't know. Must be so proud.
Good point.
Bella is so
19.
delightful. She makes me want to punch myself in the face.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
You're too
Don't
cute.
do that.
Squish her like a grape.
You know what? I'm going to shoot myself with a dart. That's what I'm going to do. I can't.
Don't do it.
I can't take the cuteness anymore. That's it.
Okay, let's do it.
Hang on.
Ow.
Right in the.
That sounded like it hurt.
Ow.
Right in the
You
right
are
one.
so
That
weird.
hurt me.
Oh my God, why'd you do that?
I don't know.
I'm not around human beings very much, and she's very cute. And I didn't have children, and she said, okay.
Be careful. She's going to ask you to move in with her.
Eventually, yes.
She's done that before.
I'm going to be part of that Carlos skit. Mom had a little accident in the bathwater. Can you come change it? Okay, listen, Irene loves us. One of my favorite YouTube news channels is Political Voices Network. Yay! I watch the Stephanie Miller Show every morning. She's so funny, has a great team, whatever. Lots of wonderful guests and segments. Here's a video clip of one of her recent shows featuring Frankie Figs. Hey,
Yeah, Frank
Gluzzi.
Big Gluzzi.
My boob hurts.
I wonder why.
Yeah, just shot
Did
yourself with
It's
it.
all for you, Bella. And Damien. Okay, I want to keep the Handmaid's Tale fiction says, hey, Steph, I want to tell you I signed up for all of your podcasts on your network. Yay. Good girl. And my human sexuality professor in college was named Michael Hunt. I'm not kidding.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Call for Mike.
Wow.
Hunt. See, I did a long
You
space
did.
there for you.
I am proud of you. That's a lot better than we having to bleep you yesterday.
Right. Kathy in Albuquerque. Hello.
Hello. You guys are funny this morning.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted to say I'm kind of upset with Chris because every time I find myself thinking about something, I always repeat what he says, rutabaga, rutabaga.
When you're stalling for time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I was also going to say, thanks for that Nancy Mace story. I was flipping channels and I went to C-SPAN, and she was praying and quoting the Bible. And I thought, yeah, this is the same person that uses offensive names for trans people.
Yeah.
And also, I was gonna say,
she was just yelling tranny.
Yeah,
In a committee
horrible.
meeting last week, I just feel like she
She
appears
is
to be
crazy.
losing
And
her
I don't know if you happened
marbles.
to catch the Daily Show because they were jumping all over the Democrats, and I thought they're the only ones holding anyone or trying to do something what they can.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your opinion is on that. I think the Democrats are doing all that they can.
I do
Anyway,
too.
thanks a lot.
We just, and the only, I know I got accused of being a Democrat basher just because we were saying I don't think Chuck Schumer and Dick Durbin are the best messengers for the urgency of this moment, but that's okay. We've got Chris Murphy and Jasmine Crockett and AOC and Senator Schiff's doing a great job.
I just got to look at what big balls looks like.
Oh, he doesn't have big balls.
Oh, no.
He's a total broccoli head.
Is Bella correct that he looks like a Reddit moderator?
Yeah, he looks a little like Beavis.
He does. He does. I'll show you during the break.
He really does. He does. He does.
Okay. More thoughts on the Super Bowl.
Well,
Kayla.
it gets even worse when you scroll down. Like one part of his shirt is tucked into his shorts and the other shirt is not.
And he's got a suit jacket on.
Right.
And he's wearing shorts.
He looks like a kid I would have argued with in like AP literature about 1984.
Yes.
Just looking at him gives me PTSD to high school.
God. I bet.
Which was not that long ago.
Oh, who let the Doge out? Right? Is my point. Trump did. Okay. Yes. Kayla said,
Doge. Doge.
All right. Kayla says, I'm convinced Republicans will continue to cry about Super Bowl halftime shows until it's Jason Aldean singing Try That in a Small Town on a stage shaped like a lynching tree. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Just, is there anything white people don't whine about now under Donald Trump? They're just perpetual victims of everything, right? Yes, Elephant Journal says after a long day of golf with Tiger Woods at taxpayer expense, Trump attended half a Super Bowl at taxpayer expense. And they're really trying to tell us they're trying to cut waste or fraud or blah, blah, blah. Oh, my God. One last one. Chiefy says the black quarterback with the black fiance, who is not an open Trump supporter, has won the Super Bowl during Black History Month with one of the blackest halftime shows ever performed. That's why white people are losing their shizzle.
Black.
And I couldn't be more delighted. Happy as a clam. All right, 58 minutes after the hour. Charlie Pierce, John Pavlovitz, and Ro Khanna all coming up.
Asked and we listened. The Thom Hartmann program is now available on demand. You can watch Thom whenever and wherever you want. Available on the FSTV app, on Amazon Fire, Roku, or wherever you stream FSTV.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm with One Hood, and you're watching Free Speech TV.
So as a technical sergeant,
E6.
I served in Vietnam in 1969.
I am an U.S. Army veteran.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Of course.
Yes.
Try to always be there for each other.
I do my best reaching out to my brothers and sisters in arms.
Have you ever asked for help yourself?
It's always tough, right? I can't say that I have. I mean,
If you don't have someone to kind of help you guide those thoughts, it can be really bad.
eventually, you just can't deal with it on your own. I guess it's a part of the military too, right? Service before self.
It was drilled in, service before self.
And you start to question, maybe people would be better off without me, When you realize that you're not alone, once you take that first step, there's so much support.
Hi, this is Brenda Rodriguez Lopez with the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, and this is Free Speech TV.
Welcome to Enviro Close-Up. I am Carl Grossman. Our guests, Arnie and Maggie Gunderson. Arnie is Chief Engineer of Fairwinds Energy Education, and Maggie, its founder and president.
You could say we were a nuclear family. And I was a true believer. When 3 Mile Island happened, I was on the local television stations telling people, don't believe it. This is a nothing burger. So I really was a true believer.
And what caused you to not believe in it any longer, Arnie?
I found the company I was working for had violated its NRC license in several areas. So I brought it to the president of the company's attention, and he fired me. I then felt that there were pretty strong whistleblower protections, and I went to the NRC and laid out my case, and they buried me. It gets quite detailed here, but ultimately we got Maggie and I. Maggie was a reporter, which was very helpful. We got John Glenn involved, and we had congressional hearings where the Inspector General found out that everything I had said was right, and that the nuclear industry tried to bury me. The NRC's management staff knew I was right and decided anyway to bury me. So that's a life-changing event when that stuff happens.
And you, Maggie, your decision to leave the nuclear industry?
I had already left it and was working as a freelance journalist and writer because we had 2 children, and I wanted the flexibility of being on their schedule because Arnie had to travel a lot for his job. So I was not there. We also had chosen to agree to disagree on several key issues. I had read a lot of Rosalie Bertel's work and Ernest Sternglass's work, and we did not agree on that. And I was concerned for our planet and concerned for my children.
Thank you so much, Arnie and Maggie Gunderson of Fairwinds Energy Education. This has been part 1 of the interview with you, to be followed up with part 2.
Kids will be kids, which just goes to say kids will be curious. They get into everything. If there's a loaded firearm in the house, they could get their hands on that too. Keeping firearms locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition in a place inaccessible to kids can help keep your loved ones safe from family fire. Safe gun storage saves lives.
In the United States Senate and the House of Representatives to stop this power grab and to stop these illegal actions. We're also doing everything we can to support the court actions that are being taken, because that is the first line of defense when you have massive law breaking and when you have Republicans on Capitol Hill who refuse to do anything.
Thank you, Senator Chris Van Hollen. Okay. Just in case you were wondering if we have hit the stupidest part of the stupidest timeline in the world.
Not yet.
This is an actual dialogue with a reporter and Trump. Reporter, why do you want to be chairman of the Kennedy Center Board? Trump, some of the shows were terrible. They were a disgrace. Reporter, have you seen any shows there? Trump, no, I didn't go.
All right.
Has your mom, I assume, received a Kennedy, Carol Burnett received a Kennedy Center
Yes,
Award?
when George W. Bush was
Of course she has.
president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, as I was saying yesterday, get ready, because it will be, and the Kennedy Center honors, once again, Kid Rock. And that'll be pretty much every year will just be...
Kid Rock and Lee Greenwood.
Yeah. Jason Aldean. I don't know.
The Village People.
By the by. Yes. By the
Not
by.
the originals.
Right. Did you see Kid Rock threw a little whiny little bitch?
Yes,
tantrum?
I saw that.
This is just Trump's America, right? Whiny little white bitch men that don't that throw tantrums if people don't cheer for them.
Right.
Oh my God. He stormed off stage. First of all, it was someone else's birthday celebration. He's like a toddler at Chuck E. Cheese that's like in the ball jump, right? Like, no one's paying attention to me. He was stormed off stage in Nashville. He was making a special appearance during Bon Jovi keyboardist David Bryan's birthday jam session. Rock said about the audience as he abruptly cut the band off. If you ain't going to clap, we ain't going to sing. That's how it's going to go. The set continued for only for a moment. Rock didn't seem to be warming to the crowd's lackluster reception. And he said, you know what, y'all, you ain't going to clap. I'm gone. And so then he
left.
Storms off like a little, right? And they continued to play with the rest of the band. And the festivities went on as planned.
What's he doing saying y'all? He's from Detroit.
I know.
Right? Because he's in Nashville, so he thinks, yeah. Anyway.
All y'all sound funny saying y'all.
All right, speaking of dialogue, it is time for Gen Z slang lesson.
Oh, yay!
6,000.
All right.
Listen, you can't hire a 22-year-old and not learn the language.
All right.
Oh, pardon me. All right. Okay, yeah, I can bring it down a little. All right, so let's review. As we all know, I am a baddie with Riz, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Are you,
you are.
though?
Are you?
Are you?
You sure
Yes.
about that?
Yes, Bella says yes.
I say so.
Listen,
When she deems it true.
This is their way of saying, you boomers, and who can blame them, really? We have effed everything up to such a degree. They're like, you know what? We're not even speaking your language anymore.
Did you just call yourself a boomer?
She is a
think
boomer.
you did.
No, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you did.
You can at least try Gen X.
I can't remember what age I'm lying about.
I think you think you're a millennial.
Right. What do you mean I think?
She is.
Oh my God! Stop
She's-
kissing her
oh my
ass.
God.
You have the job.
You shut up. I have aura. Someone who's mysterious and cool is said to have aura. So I am, let's review, a baddie, which is a bad wild girl meant as a compliment. I am a baddie with Riz, charisma, and aura. And who is also Baka, which is crazy or foolish.
Definitely that one.
Yeah, from the anime.
Who called you a wild girl?
Bop is a girl who
You
sleeps...
go to bed at 3 in the afternoon.
Bop is a girl who sleeps around, which I would if I had any offers, but I'm not currently a bop, but I hope to be. Brain rot is a description of the overuse of stupid slang, which I have already from studying Gen Z terms.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a baddie with Riz and aura that has brain rot.
Yeah.
It's also makes you Baka, you know what I'm talking about? Delusional is Delulu. I'm also that.
The what?
Delulu.
Delulu. Because they can't
Is
use
that a thing, Bella?
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
It is. Delulu.
Doomer is a person who is overly negative and or cynical.
I've heard of that.
So
Yeah.
I'm a doomer boomer, I guess. I guess we all are.
I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Whatever.
Solidly Gen
Shut up.
X.
Same.
I have. You know what else I have? I have gamer dent, which is the temporary indentation left on someone's hair or skin after wearing headphones for too long.
Yeah,
I have
you
that from being a
definitely
radio
have
nerd.
that.
I'm not
Yeah.
a gamer, but I'm a
Yeah.
radio
Definitely
nerd.
have that.
Yeah, I got
A radio dent.
Got gamer dent, man.
You got radio dent.
dent.
See, new term.
Glaze means to overly praise someone, often sincerely.
Yeah, so
Sincerely.
I glazed Stephanie.
Yeah,
You
thank you.
certainly did.
With the hope of getting something. I've already given you all the wine I have.
I know.
Stop glazing me.
Trying to get more.
Stop glazing this baddie.
Who wants to be a
Because
bop?
that's Delulu.
Did you hear that sympathy laugh?
That was a sympathy laugh.
Yes.
Shut up. Gooning is extended masturbation without orgasm.
I've heard of that.
Done for the purpose of entering an altered state of consciousness. What's the
What?
point of
What
that?
is the point?
What is the point of that?
That makes no
That's
sense.
just frustrating.
Dude,
Yeah,
Isn't that-
it's like a you call someone a gooner. It's like a term of
That
bringing-
guy's
yeah.
that Doge boy is a gooner.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
100%.
yeah. Big balls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seriously looks like Beavis.
You don't get the nickname Big Balls for nothing.
Or
Blue balls.
Or
He's
blue balls.
Blue balling. He's blue balling and gooning. Okay. This I don't really. Hello is an overly cute way of saying hello. Hello. Why do you say?
That's like Barbara Walters.
Barbara Walters. Hello.
Hello.
I am Barbara Walters.
Hello.
She doesn't know who Barbara Walters
No,
is.
exactly. That's the problem.
Hello. I am Maria Bartiromo. I have the eyes of a flounder. All right, we're almost done with today's lesson. Mog is to be more attractive than someone, usually in an intentional or aggressive way. I was risen up this girl, but he walked in and totally mogged me.
That makes me hurt. That makes my heart hurt.
That just is bad.
Serve is serve C word is to act in a powerfully and unapologetically feminine way.
Yes.
To
I'm down with that.
To slay.
To slay.
All right. That's what
I'm
you're
down
doing.
with
That's
that.
what you're doing here every Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
You serve.
Riz.
And the C word.
Jody is Riz. Yapping describes a presentational style often seen in online streams of talking a lot and or quickly while not saying anything worthwhile.
Oh, that sounds like this show.
Yeah,
guessing
totally the show.
You should see this total
We're all yappers.
baka that I yap. That's the yapping
Who wants to be a bop?
that I'm yapping with all the time. That wants to be a bop, but no one wants to. Okay.
Are you serving C word?
Yes, every day.
We're all serving C word.
What for breakfast every day.
I'm the only one not serving C word because I'm not feminine.
You can still serve it.
Can I?
Yeah.
Dudes can serve C word?
Yeah.
course.
In Conclave,
Jody,
they're all
can you
serving
just-
C word.
Jody, can you just set me adrift on a polarized flow? I think it's time. I know it's LA, so it's hard to find one, but just shove me off and just.
Yeah, as soon as everything gets fixed in here, sure, then,
Okay.
there I go.
Oh,
Now-
wow,
now-
she has demands now to take over the
Serving
show.
C word.
Yeah, she's serving C word full time. Okay, Senator Amy Klobuchar said, make no mistake, the reason cancer research is on the chopping block now is because the Trump administration is looking for money to give tax breaks to billionaires, and why not pay for it on the backs of kids with cancer?
Yep.
It is as awful as you think it is. C.J. Johnson said Fox spun it that Tammy Duckworth has not paid property taxes in years. In her state, disabled veterans don't pay property taxes. Lie by omission. She lost both legs in the service. The amount of awfulness that we're currently enduring on every level is just, Chris. Who said I'm coming from a place now that we're in a very dark place in America where we have a bully and a thug who is president of the United States? Who said that?
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
No, that would be Richard Gere accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award in Spain.
He was great doing that.
I was saying my Bubba Award, my Buffalo Broadcasters Hall of Fame Award, is at least serving a purpose of holding up that cord that is too short over there from my iPhone.
If it didn't hold it up, it would fall behind the desk.
What are your mom's Emmys doing? Just bed rotting?
No, they're
Collecting
beautifully
dust.
displayed.
She had a case built for it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you don't really need a case for one Bubba.
You have other awards? Sure. You have an award on the wall over here.
Should I bring in some of mine?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, Chris.
Like my Emmy nomination?
Yes. Do you get a thing for that?
Yeah, you get a thing for that.
I have a bodybuilding trophy. I could bring that in.
Okay, everybody, do you have a bowling trophy, Bella?
I have a national college radio trophy.
There you go.
Oh, nerd.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Aw. Do you have a T-ball trophy?
I do.
Oh,
You give her T-ball trophies every day.
Along with wine.
Listen, you need a lot of wine to get through these 4 years. We're only 3 weeks in. I'm always like, I'm sorry about that. Here's another bottle of wine. Okay. Okay, Chris, who said
Yes.
authoritarianism takes us all over? We have to be vigilant. We have to be alert. We have to be energetic. We have to be brave. We have to be courageous. And everyone who's watching this, we have to be willing to stand up, tell the truth, be honest. And there's a place in all of our lives for basic kindness, for basic love and understanding. Who said that?
Chaka.
No, the super hunky, dreamy Richard Gere.
Oh.
Okay, bonus round, last one. The millionaire clowns surrounding Trump are immature and narcissistic, a deadly mix. Who said that?
Witchy poo.
No, Richard Gere. God, it was such an easy one this time. Okay, Marie in Atlanta, our legal lady. Legal lady, lover. Hello, lover.
Hello, Jody. Good to hear you again.
Hi, Marie.
So let me help you with the whole Crip walking thing.
Okay.
Crip walking did originate with the Crips.
Yeah.
It was elaborate foot moves to literally spell out CRIP.
Oh,
But over
okay.
time, rappers would bring it into popular culture so that
Right.
it's no longer really about identifying as part of the gang.
And can you
And by
confirm
the
that
way-
the Queen was not amused when Serena Williams did it at Wimbledon because she was indeed a blood? Am I correct?
Not hard to believe that's possible.
I will cut a bitch. A blood will cut a bitch.
Dubonnet in one hand and the
Oh, yeah.
corgis in the other.
I will cut a bitch with one hand, with the other hand holding my Dubonnet. All right. Go ahead.
No. So I wanted to say it was just Serena doing what is known as Crip walking at the Super Bowl. It was not just the diss to Drake, but also essentially the "you don't control me, you don't control us."
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
like the theme of the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, all I care is that I love how crazy it made MAGA. Completely lose their shiznit. I can say that, Ken.
It was close.
Shiznit?
A
No.
little close.
Yeah. Huh?
little
Noel
close.
says, imagine being an 80-year-old president of a country trying to convince people of waste on government spending while spending copious amounts of taxpayer money to attend a football game, only to have to leave early to run home and mean tweet about a 35-year-old female pop star because she is wildly more popular than you are.
And richer.
What a time we are living in. Okay. Oh, can we hear the actual audio from Trump arriving at the Super Bowl? Not the, what do you call it? A lot of people, by the way, Walter said very fascist of them to add cheer tracks over the boos for Trump. Can't wait for all the videos to come from people who were there. Well, bingo.
I love him.
I'm going to marry him.
He's great.
Oh my God. This is my new ringtone. I swear to God. I cannot hear it enough. Yeah, this is Layla said, adding fake cheers over the sound of the booing at the Super Bowl is so very North Korea, Fox News. Yeah, and I was commenting on Walter said Donald Trump revoked the invitation for the Super Bowl winners to visit the White House. He knew they weren't going to go, so he revoked it so he could say he ditched them first. I mean, while tweeting about Taylor Swift, it's just, I still can't believe he's president, Jody. Did this really happen?
We're on the wrong timeline.
Something has happened.
We're in the wrong multiverse.
We are definitely not on Earth 1. We are on a different planet.
Here's another layer of lovely about the Super Bowl. Lovely. Theo Chin says, breaking, with 0 points and 0 field goals in the Super Bowl, experts agree Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker would have been more useful had he stayed home, cooked dinner, and watched his kids. Because he's that douchebag that hangs around with fisting aficionado Josh Hawley.
Yes.
And the onside kicks didn't work either, so there was that problem.
Right.
Probably should have just stayed home in his kitchen.
There you go. Yes, Sarah said the Kansas City Chiefs are an organization of Trump supporters from the office to the quarterback to the kicker. The Philadelphia Eagles support only blue campaigns. The Eagles organization refused to attend the White House celebration because 45 was president. I'm a cheesehead through and through, but tonight, fly, Eagles, fly. It's true. Oh, and this is my favorite Super Bowl one. Judge You Harshly says, I just hope they kept Kristi Noem away from the puppy bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They still do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched.
Do they still do the lingerie bowl?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Well, Steph should know
They
about
used
that.
to.
I beg your
They
pardon.
used to.
Are you implying that I'm a lascivious lesbian?
Lesbian who likes lingerie.
Lingerie. All right. That's
Yeah, we need to break.
Wildly inappropriate of you. 21 minutes after the hour. This Debbie Dingell made a great point about this too. Representative Dingell, here she is.
Nobody who's personal information on their health care and everything else should be making it available to Doge under any circumstances. And I don't think people understand what kind of data they're getting. They know when people have a colonoscopy. That's not somebody else's business. So I think everybody is putting everything on the table. And I think it's really important that every member of Congress understands how their district is being impacted.
Yeah, for anyone that says, what's up your ass, the fact that Musk and the Doge boys know, the Doge bags, as you say, right? I mean, that's what's up America's ass now, is my point. And my point is, who let the
Doge?
Right?
Doge.
I made that, and I'm going to use it. Okay. But yeah, these are like, aren't these supposed to be the small government, like privacy people? That I mean, I can't imagine anyone's okay with them having all of our personal data.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the small, like you said, the smaller government folks. Now they wanted the South African jumping bean all up in their backsides. You
Right,
know,
up your ass.
I'm pretty sure that's not smaller government. Like not all of your personal information, like stuff that you're just like, only like my husband knows this stuff, like my best friends know this stuff, and he's like, oh look, Granny here had a colonoscopy and now she's broke, and like, no.
Yeah.
But again, the judge, he wants to now impeach the judge who blocked him from being able to do that. That's what they're trying to do now.
Yeah. And now Americans are okay with getting anal from the government. Really? Is that where we're at? Is that where we're at, Joe?
Well, if you're going to have two daddies, it kind of comes with the territory,
There you
right?
go.
I mean, they're going to be the meat in some
There you go.
Yvonne Donnie sandwich, that's for sure. Nobody asked for that.
You were the first one that said it last week. Hold the F on. Department of Government Efficiency, the entity that claims its mission is to end wasteful spending, was given $7 million taxpayer dollars to cover quote-unquote expenses in a single week. And then you just said it was cost $20 million for Trump to go to half the Super Bowl, which is why no other American president has ever done it, because of security and taxpayer cost, right?
Right, but you know what? Funding childhood cancer research is a bridge too far, America. Yes, we can fly Assistant President Poopy Pants around the world so we can piss off Taylor Swift and get booed by everybody at home. So we can all collectively give him the finger to the tune of $20 million. But sorry, kids, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Great.
By the way, Kevin threaded two black quarterbacks are facing off in a black city with an all-black halftime entertainment, yet the end racism end zone message had to be erased because the first president to attend a Super Bowl is a racist. Is that the size of it? Yes. Right? I mean, and by the way, hold please. Where's your, you said there's no such effing thing as being too woman to pilot a helicopter, too gay to land a plane, or too black to be an air traffic controller. There is, however, such a thing as being too hateful, too stupid, and too sociopathic to be president, and we call that Donald Trump. I mean, seriously, that tells you everything you need to know. He's offended by having end racism be in the end zone, right?
Right, and this whole merit-based hiring nonsense. We're talking about a Nepo baby who inherited millions from his racist father and grew up in a gilded tower in New York City, who hired a guy he liked on Fox News to run our Department of Defense and a guy he liked on Fox News to be our transportation secretary. And the standard of merit is white dudes. Like, that's what they're trying to go. Take us back to our factory setting so that white dudes are the standard of merit-based hiring. It's absolute insanity.
And also, I don't think Americans voted for him to just get his petty revenge on anybody he thinks ever slighted him. You were talking about the Trump revoked Biden security clearance. Why? Because Assistant POTUS, small in the pants, is a petulant man-child who can't do all the terrible revenge things he wants to do, so he'll just do stupid like that, which is, but it's becoming policy too. Everything, what's her name? Pam Bondi, legal Barbie's doing, right? It'll be everything that Kash Patel does. It's all revenge.
Retribution. I mean, clearly that's what motivates him, right? So the Kennedy Center thing, for instance, which, by the way, the Kennedy Center is like, no, you're not going to take over. Nice try. That's not how stuff works around here.
What?
Charlie just confirmed.
Stephanie.
Food entirely at me.
Well, because you said what? So I had to repeat it.
All right, Charlie Pierce says confirmed. We just want to make sure, but thank you for that information and also that bunch of food particles in my eye. Okay. Let's see. Oh, looky here. Oh, sucker. Hello, minute sucker. Meet minute sucker. Over 800,000 MAGA cultists have lost a combined $2 billion in Trump's meme coin. So much winning.
Oh.
And as I said earlier, Chris, he actually is trying to sell timeshares to Palestinians.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you can't come back, but you're going to have somewhere so much nicer, beautiful, beautiful real estate development somewhere a little bit away from there. Oh, did I mention that I think he's pretty much probably blown up the hostage deal? And,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, stuff. Okay, Shelley says, I'm not concerned about men transitioning to women. I'm concerned about Americans transitioning to Nazis. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. By the way, Nazis still bad. Cancer still bad. Just reviewing what we've learned on today's show.
Your courage is just
because I'm a baddie.
Wow.
I'm a baddie with Riz
and aura.
Yeah, thank you,
aura.
Bella,
Exactly.
and aura. Take that.
Don't encourage her.
Sherry,
who wants to be a bop?
Right.
I do. I aspire to be a bop. Hi, Sherry in Maryland. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Go ahead.
I thought I would talk about what people are really overlooking about these Doge boys. I think what's really happening is they're installing AI on all of our government agencies to eliminate all of the government employees.
Yeah.
And they will have centralized control over everything and everyone, all our bank accounts, everything. And eventually they want to eliminate the middle class with this. And I think we're not really paying attention to what this big picture is and what this means for our future.
Sherry, I agree with you. And by the way, it's always follow the money, right?
Always.
Elon Musk, staffers from the Doge bags, and Elon Musk helped to effectively shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau as they gained access to an array of the Bureau's protected information. With Elon Musk's social media platform X poised to launch a digital wallet and peer-to-peer payment service, Musk's associates have been granted access to confidential information about all of X's competitors. I keep saying it every day, Jody, he is just there helping himself. Helping himself. How he can make more. Because I guess being the richest man in the world isn't enough.
Apparently.
It is so disgusting. It's not be hard to even get your arms around what they are doing.
One of the easiest and most effective ways to support FSTV is through a monthly donation. Consistent and sustaining support ensures a livable wage for all staff, keeps your favorite shows on the air, and provides the groundwork for creating innovative programming.
Welcome to Caffeinated, where we focus on the parts of a story that really matter by showing compassion to the opposing side. Take, if you will, Steve Bannon, the man who said, "Darkness is good." Darth Vader, Dick Cheney, Satan, that's power. Who published the op-ed, "Birth Control Makes Women Unattractive and Crazy," and many other op-eds for Breitbart, most of which read better in the original German. Who warned the media should keep their mouth shut, and that same media can't stop desperately trying to book him on all their shows. You guys, seriously, I'm a little worried about Steve Bannon. Not because he brazenly defied a congressional subpoena about his role in the terrorist attacks on our nation's capital of January 6, 2021, wagging his junk at it, citing executive privilege, even though he'd been fired by the White House back in January 2017 and was working at the time of that attack as a podcaster, and not because he's a white supremacist who published a lot of white supremacist articles and supported the border wall and the Muslim ban and lots of authoritarian dictators, and who actually did say that cities could be washed away in an orgy of de-gentrification. No, I'm worried about Steve Bannon because the man looks like an alcoholic Thom. Have you seen this guy? He looks like a sack of pus that developed rickets. He looks like gout that caught gout. The man does not look well. Yeah, that's Steve Bannon, the one who was arrested on a Chinese billionaire's yacht and indicted by a federal grand jury for wire fraud and money laundering because he was ripping off Trump supporters donating to his Build the Wall campaign, and then Trump pardoned him for ripping off his own MAGA faithful. That guy. Is he okay? I'm just worried because Steve Bannon looks like a guy who was up watching porn until 6:45 a.m. and his alarm was set for 7. He looks like the guy in the office that HR has to physically give a deodorant stick to after one too many coworker complaints. He looks like a diseased leprechaun freebasing in the Port Authority bus terminal men's room. But we need to put aside our petty differences and recognize that this is clearly a fellow human being who is in pain. Can we do that? Do we have the humanity to reach out with love to Steve Bannon? Because he looks like the guy in the zombie movie who doesn't want the other survivors to know he got bit in the last scene. He looks like an infected toe. He looks like that uncle who comes over and smells of cigarettes and cat piss and always wants you to sit on his lap, but you're 15. I'm just worried about the guy is all I'm saying. And yes, I know his wife alleges he physically abused her and wouldn't let their kids go to school with Jewish children. I know YouTube has taken down his videos because they glorify violence, and Facebook took down his videos for glorifying violence, and Twitter has banned him for glorifying violence. And I know he said that Mussolini was a guy's guy who had amazing fashion sense. He said that. But in fairness, lots of people who aren't fascists praise Mussolini's style. But I am asking you to look into your hearts and find some compassion. Because Steve Bannon looks like a guy whose parole officer makes him knock on every door and introduce himself whenever he moves to a new neighborhood. He looks like Pigpen the Hutt. Steve Bannon looks like a guy who was just forced to drive cross-country in a small car with no ventilation and the windows rolled up while sitting next to Steve Bannon. He's not a healthy man. We are just concerned because he looks like he just ate 20 pounds of cheese and it's coming out of his facial pores. And by the way, I know what you're thinking. What right do I have to make fun of Steve Bannon's appearance when I look like Joe Exotic's mullet donor? It's true, I still have my pandemic hair, but I know it. See, number one, I accept that I look like the love child of Beethoven and Loki. I look like John Wick during a nationwide Moroccan oil shortage. But number two, I'm just concerned about him. So while you cynically fixate on the fact that he called the Civil War the War of Southern Independence, or that he looks like physical proof that white supremacists are the greatest argument against the concept of white supremacy, and he said that conservative women are better than...
Wall Street will once again be free to trick, trap, and cheat you. Congress created this agency. There were laws that were passed, right? They passed a bill in the House, passed a bill in the Senate, did a conference, got the thing through. It was signed into law by the President of the United States. And only Congress, not Donald Trump, not Elon Musk, not some 22-year-old programmer, only Congress can shut this agency down.
Thank you, Senator Professor Elizabeth Warren. Senator Duckworth said the same thing. The richest man in the world is celebrating the dismantling of an independent agencies whose job it is to protect American consumers from corporate greed. Trump and Elon are not looking out for you. They're looking out for themselves. I just hope enough people wake up quickly enough. Like this guy. Look who's up. Hi. There's only one man now that understands. And that's the author of Idiot America.
Pierce. Pierce.
Charlie Pierce, political columnist for Esquire.com.
Why is everybody always laughing with me?
Good morning, Charlie Pierce.
I woke up and he's still president.
It really does feel like a waking nightmare, doesn't it? It just
It does. Good morning, Jody Hamilton.
Good morning, Charlie Pierce.
Don't be creepy to Bella, too. She's just a baby.
I'm not being creepy to Bella. Bella and I are simpatico.
We're buddies.
Yeah, we're big sweater people.
We have a bevy of straight beauties for you now every Tuesday. Charlie Pierce. So Charlie Pierce, we talked about this yesterday, but it really is. You said your piece is the Trump administration using this handy-dandy loyalty test for law enforcement candidates. Want a job with the FBI? Want to carry a gun and a badge, wear low-cost suits and shiny cop shoes? Want to chase spies, mobsters, dangerous librarians who display children's books about gay penguins? Answer the following questions. Was the 2020 election stolen? Who were the real patriots on January 6th? And finally, who's your real boss? You think it's a joke? These are the actual questions
Those
they have
are
to
the
answer.
actual questions. Yes.
And if, yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine what some 28-year-old homicide cop from Baltimore who wants to change careers and goes in for the FBI application process thinks when he gets thrown to these things.
Yeah. I mean, you were
likely by some 22-year-old wearing cargo shorts.
That's like big balls.
Big balls.
Yeah, he's wearing cargo shorts and a jacket and an Oxford shirt half out. And anyway.
It looks like he's standing in the conference in the conference room of a defunct motel.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, but to your point, Charlie, you said this obvious attempt to turn the intelligence community into a private police force for the purpose of presidential vengeance and operating with all the independence of a team of sled dogs was an indication of the final assault on representative government is underway. At the same time that the Post was revealing this comic opera villainy, officials up to and including the Vice President of the United States were softening up the ground in preparation for the day when the president tells the judiciary to pound sand. That will occasion not so much as a constitutional crisis as constitutional Armageddon. I mean, that's what I keep saying, Charlie. We are not, I was reading edging up to we're in the constitutional crisis.
We are. I was just writing about that actually.
We're gooning
today,
to one.
When he refused to, when he's blowing off the judge in Rhode Island, we're in the constitutional crisis.
Yeah.
Either we have an independent judiciary with some power or we don't. And eventually that well-known institutionalist John Roberts is going to have to answer that question.
Yeah. Well, so you know what Charlie's talking about, everybody. If you've just woken up, Trump has been ordered by a judge to unfreeze all federal grant payments, including NIH and IRA. He's also now being sued by 22 states' attorney generals for cutting NIH research programs. And that's what I was saying. They're clearly betting on this going to Trump's Supreme Court. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think it's entirely possible that he ignores the Supreme Court too.
Oof. Is there something beyond constitutional Armageddon?
Yeah, what happens
what's beyond Armageddon? Yeah.
Well, supposedly it's 1,000 years of peace and happiness, but I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, Nostradamus.
All right. Will there be locusts? I was told there would be locusts.
No, only to eat.
Well,
like John the Baptist eating locusts and honey.
Yeah.
But
Fugel's not the only person who can throw the Bible around.
That's right.
I mean, to add to a level of absurdity, as you write, Charlie, President Musk has weighed in and by saying that these are unelected bureaucrats opposing the president. What the F does he think he is?
Right.
He says judges are unelected, so they have no power?
Yeah, this is just, that's the ketamine talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So you said, and you said J.D. Vance put the poisoned cherry atop this rancid sundae by basically saying if a judge tried to tell a general how to conduct a military operation, that would be illegal. If a judge tried to command the attorney general how to use her discretion as a prosecutor, that's also illegal. Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. Yes, they are.
Yeah,
Take
that son of a bitch up with Nixon.
Yeah.
Two of his attorney generals wound up in jail.
Well, this is how you finish. Does this empty suit knows how anything works? More often than not, judges pass judgment on actions after those actions have occurred. And in other cases, like the Attorney General were to announce the FBI was embarked on a program to incarcerate all Democrats without trial, a judge would have a positive duty to stand in the way. Vance must have been dipping sheep the day in high school when they taught about the day the Supreme Court ordered Nixon to cough up the Watergate tapes. I have no doubt Vance could ace that FBI entrance exam. I mean, here's the thing, Charles. I'm not sure. I was saying that David Jolly, former Republican congressman yesterday, stood up for Democrats because he said, first of all, I don't get people beating up on Democrats. I keep saying it's not even about age. Charlie, look at how Senator Warren messages and the urgency that she messages with. I feel like they're doing all they can. Am I missing something?
Well, I mean, I think they're doing all they can. I think at the moment they are. If they really did all they could, they wouldn't cooperate with the Republicans on the government shutdown.
Right.
That would be all they could.
Right.
You made this mess. You figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Let
And
AOC
then sell the hell out of it.
Yeah. AOC, one of our other best communicators, here she is.
We should be very clear with the American people that the House is governed by a Republican majority, the Senate is governed by a Republican majority, and the White House has a Republican president. And if they want to pass their agenda, Republicans need to conjure up the votes for them to pass their own bills.
And
I
there
mean,
you
that,
are.
that's the one point. That
How hard
also,
is that to, how hard is that to understand?
Right. And also, Charlie, it helps us not feel powerless. He's extremely weak. If he had the votes to pass all this stuff, he would do that, but he can't. That's why he's doing it by
Well, he's got a Speaker of the House who half the guy's caucus is, sticking knives in his back.
Right.
I mean, if you press them on this, if you make them own the shutdown, you will demolish him as a speaker.
Right. I mean, I was just going to say so many, this one, just in terms of how we message, it's wild to watch the working class cheer on billionaires stealing from them. Chasten Buttigieg said slashing funding for cancer research does not make America greater, groceries cheaper. I mean, Charlie, where do you, I mean, it's hard to tell with polling, right? We're only 3 weeks in. But you can't imagine, because I know that large amounts, I think it was 20% want Elon Musk to have this much influence. I mean, I can't, the January 6th pardon's wildly unpopular.
Yeah, you're on. We got the split again where his popularity is 53% and the popularity of all of his programs is in the sewer.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, it's just in terms of when people are going to wake up. We've been saying this all morning. Fred Wellman also said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but programmers don't conduct audits. They write code. That's what they're doing in our personal data and government payment systems in secret. Maybe stop falling for the billionaires. I mean, that's just going to be the question, is when most people wake up, right? When they...
Well, it's going to be when most people wake up, and hopefully following that, when do these people get called to account?
Right.
I mean, I don't know enough about computers to understand completely what the damage these guys can do is. But I'm enough people I know who do know a lot about computers say it could be disastrous.
Yeah. Well, and they already have the data, and that's when the judge ruled they have to destroy the data they took. I said, and whose army is going to make them? Which is exactly, it seems like, what's happening. They're not complying.
Yeah. I mean, do you know anybody that? I mean, I guess the Silk Road guy who got pardoned by President Trump like the second day he was in office. I guess he had to destroy most of the data he had, but if I recall correctly, and I may not. But once the data's out in the world, it's out in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't possibly track it all.
Yeah. So how about those?
Unless you can convict some of the cargo shorts mafia of cybercrime.
Yeah, it is cybercrime. It absolutely is, Charlie. Yeah, we were saying like what he did out here, releasing all of our water from the dams. That's terrorism. You would call that terrorism. Flooding the Central Valley just out of spite is anyway.
Well, not so much spite; it's for a photo op.
Yeah.
Look, water. Yes,
yeah,
but might as well have released it in Kansas, you dolt.
I know.
For all the good it would do Los Angeles.
I know. Yeah, I love it. That was my favorite part of that stupidity. If I would have done this earlier, the fire wouldn't have happened. Oh, really? If you release water to an area that's not Los Angeles?
Yeah, if you manage to
Santa Ana winds
under the mountains to get it there.
Oh God, okay. Hey,
well,
how about
now he's rambling on Fox about how he owns Gaza.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. And it looks like he's blowing up the hostage deal.
Go down over there?
Yeah, and it looks like he's blowing up the hostage deal with this. Right. I mean, they've been negotiating the right of return for 11 billion years, Charlie, and he's just like, no, they don't get to come back. It's going to be mine, and that's not going to blow up the whole thing, right?
No. It'll be fine. They will bow to his genius, as they all do. Yeah. It will be interesting to see how he manages to walk that baby back.
Yeah. In sports news, how about those Eagles?
Oh, I love the Eagles. Are you kidding? I enjoyed that Super Bowl tremendously.
By the way, someone else pointed out a thing of all the things that annoyed me. Rocky said, I can't believe Trump rendered a salute to the flag during the national anthem. You can only salute if you served in the military. Otherwise, your hand goes over your heart. I hate him so much. I know. It's like he's a little toy soldier, right?
I saw that too. And I thought, boy, there are a lot of spirits of Vietnam casualties who must be very angry, at a third generation draft dodger saluting.
Yeah. Yeah,
but I thought it was really New Orleans. I thought two things that I really loved. First of all, I loved Eugene Levy's eyebrows.
Yes, that was funny.
And the Matt Damon and what's his name Beckham commercial was funny.
I love the fact that Trombone Shorty managed to save God Bless America.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a nice little New Orleans second line rhythmic version.
Yeah.
And that's a song I sleep through every time it gets played.
Yeah.
As we say in America's press boxes, but it's time to go get ice cream.
All right, Charlie. Love you. We'll see you next week.
Hey, I really hope so.
Yeah.
Say hi to everybody. Say hi to Los Angeles for me.
Okay. All right. We will. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
And we love LA. We love it.
We do.
We do.
Okay.
And eventually you have the racist KKK fighting the fascist Antifa in the streets of Charlottesville. Both sides.
Boy, I'll tell you, the media sure gets one thing right. The extreme right wing and the extreme left wing in this country have both totally gone off the rails.
America is being destroyed by people on both sides thinking that the other side is destroying the world.
So many insane ideas on the left and the right, and I'm sorry, but real Americans have had it. We only hear about what the far right wants and the far left wants, but what about the majority, huh?
My take is that we should condemn violence and extremism on both sides.
On the right, you have these extremists who want to overthrow democracy and have a violent revolution. They want to deregulate the polluters poisoning our air and water. They want to privatize Social Security. And on the left, these extremist nutjobs think every American should have health care. It's insane, and it's both sides, people.
I blame both sides.
I mean, these nutjobs on the right are white supremacist Confederates who reject the 2020 election, they reject science, and they want armed civil war. And these extremist nutjobs on the left think women should have control over what happens to their own bodies. I mean, hello, is this the America we know? What? This is what Andrew Yang warned us about, guys.
Quit drinking that Kool-Aid because we're hearing it from both sides, the extreme right and the extreme left, and they have the microphone.
Because real America sees these right-wing fascists trying to scale back voting rights, trying to scale back LGBT rights, trying to sunset Social Security and Medicare. And then you got these psychopaths on the left who actually believe that Medicare should cover vision, hearing, and dental. When did both sides lose their minds, people?
America is being moved into chaos by people on both sides.
It's like the media says, what happened to the center? Actually, the media moved the center over here to the right, but what happened to it now that it's over here? Both sides don't want to put women in jail for abortion. Both sides don't play dumb about police brutality. Both sides don't want to do nothing about student loan debt. Both sides don't want to play dumb about the climate crisis. Both sides don't want to save white supremacist Confederate symbols. Both sides don't want to decriminalize weed. Both sides don't pretend that Donald Trump's spreading a racist smear for years that the first black president wasn't really born here and isn't really one of us, isn't racist. Both sides don't want to make it easier for 21-year-old males to get their hands on weapons designed to kill lots of humans really fast.
But having said that, I understand what he meant by both sides.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more. Give us a like, give us a good review, and subscribe to the John Fugelsang podcast, too.
It's not true.
We don't know.
We
know. Well, you never know.
We know it's
You
not
had
true.
me research it, and I found it was not
I'm
true.
going to say Halfway Post is correct. They posted a January 6th insurrectionist pardoned by Donald Trump accidentally burned down his house yesterday during the Super Bowl after he lit a pile of his teen daughter's Taylor Swift T-shirts on fire.
That's not true.
I know what I want it to be. Doesn't it make...
No, shake
it could be.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
This is for the Isn't It Ironic file. Trump insisted that Obama was born in Africa and now has a guy who's literally born in Africa running everything.
Isn't it ironic?
It's ironic.
All right. Don't you think? A little
All right. Sue in Rockville loved the halftime show, but her grandkids had to explain it to her. Hello, Sue.
Yes. We thought it was great, except that we had to then contact the grandkids to explain us. They sent us the set list. And then we knew we liked it. Now we know why. And I just want to say I'm very hip. So, Steph, you are totally rizzed.
Yep.
Everything is skibbity.
Yep.
And it's all good.
Oh, Sue.
Oh, Sue, I love you.
She's a broad. That's
You are controlled by your grandkids. She's a mima.
She's a broad.
Yeah.
She's
All
a
right.
dame.
All right.
Oh,
Okay. We don't. Do we all have to?
She's swell.
Gen Z now. Do we all?
That made my heart hurt.
You know
Get
what you
with
need now?
it.
You need some hope. You need the Seth, the homo of hope.
The homo of hope.
Hello,
yes.
Seth.
Hi, homos, and Jody on the Shomo, and Stem Cell Bella.
Hey.
First, I want...
She's a zygote.
I
Gen
want-
Z zygote.
She's
That's
a
how I
zygote.
remember. Yeah.
Zygote with a Z. Move over, Liza. So...
She did not get that reference at all.
I'll play it for her.
All right, go ahead.
over her head. So I first want to say you're all eye candy, but when you chair dance, I just want to be a bop. And and then I can't even memories of Trump go away when Chris chair dances. So a couple of things.
A little something for everybody on this show.
Exactly.
Go
Number
ahead.
one, the insanity that anybody would think that you could walk into a major government agency and in 20 minutes decide what fraud is. It would take you days of going through spreadsheets.
Exactly. Right.
And
And you don't
like,
bring
it's a-
20-year-old coders. You bring accountants, you know? I mean, it's...
No.
Yeah.
It's insane. Insanity. Anyone believes that. And so a caller on Randy Rhodes, your other whore, has this great idea.
Hello.
You know, we call, we email, but she really talked about let's flood them with physical mail that they have to step over and mail that's in their way. So I ordered like 200 postcards with flags on them, and I'm sending them to all senators, all Congress people, applauding the Democrats, ribbing the Republicans for doing what they're doing, and let's really physically put ourselves in their office.
Seth, I am for all of the above. I keep saying it. All of the above. Whatever you can do.
And postcards are better than letters.
Yeah. Kevin in D.C. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And I just think that, Jody, I missed you. I was taken aback because I wasn't watching the show the day that you left, so I only found out by a text chain. But I got you.
I didn't even know she left. I
haven't. I've moved into the house. She has no idea.
Okay, but I did get used to Farrah Fawcett being replaced by Cheryl Ladd. So
There you go.
same
Yeah.
difference.
And Dick Sargent replacing Dick York.
Yeah,
Right.
It's by a younger model. That's
Of
just how we
course.
roll.
Joy.
That's how we roll here. She aged out like Menudo. I was like, you're out. You're too old.
That's messed up.
It's true.
All right. We love you, Kevin. He loves all the ladies.
That's right.
Okay.
He does.
He's a lady lover.
Yes, he is. All right, let's not start. Okay, Pastor John Pavlovitz. Oh my God, he wrote the most amazing piece. I follow him all over the socials. He was a Durham sexy liberal.
That's right.
He speaks Bible almost as well as John Fugelsang, my personal comedy Jesus. But he just has some. He's a great resistor, and he has some great thoughts. Representative Ro Khanna. I just the fact that Elon Musk called him a D makes it all the more magical that he's on this morning. He said, don't be a D. 58 minutes after the hour. Oh, hey there. there, it's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the movement keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.
Now more than ever, people need to work with companies that share their values. Credo Mobile has donated nearly $100 million to help progressive organizations fight for reproductive rights, social justice, the environment, and equality. Credo Mobile offers a world-class mobile network and gives people a real choice when it comes to working with companies they know are making a positive difference in the world. Visit credomobile.com today and make the call to action.
Hi, I'm Matt Gaetz, former congressman and distinguished statesman. Can you believe the deep state totally canceled me just because I'm a patriot who likes to party? Does that suck ass or what? This is my new podcast, and you haters can laugh all you want because I allegedly brought a somewhat underage chick across state lines. But guess what that means? I get to do my time in a federal pen, not a state pen, because those are like totally ghetto. So I'm doing this podcast because the accusations against me are the greatest miscarriage of justice since a bunch of Black Lives Matter thugs attacked our Capitol on January 6th, disguised as white Trump supporters. So a lot of haters want to talk about how my dad bought me my seat in Congress, or how I got busted with a DUI driving my dad's BMW, or how I wore a gas mask in the House, or how I falsely claimed that Obamacare caused the opioid crisis, or how I voted against the Equality Act, or how I was the only person in Congress to vote against the Sex Trafficking Act, blah, blah, blah. As Mr. Trump said many times, you only hate me because I'm so Christian, you punk ass. But they also say I'm a racist because I brought a Holocaust denier to the State of the Union address. Okay, let's address that. Number one, I did not bring a Holocaust denier. I brought a Holocaust skeptic. And that's like a totally different thing. Stop calling me a bigot. It's totally gay. Okay, let's do some fan mail. Dear Matt, you're awesome, bro. MAGA, how is prison? Signed, Jill. Dear Jill, thanks for writing. You did not enclose a photograph in your letter, which indicates to me that you are at best a 6. But I'll answer your letter anyway. Prison's sucky, okay? When I came here, they wouldn't let me bring my own pomade into the jail. So I have to buy some homemade prison pomade from the Aryan gang, and those guys won't even tell me what's in it. I mean, it works. It's sticky. The worst part is that for some reason President Trump hasn't responded to any of my phone calls or letters or emails. So I've started this new GoFundMe. It's Tell Donald Trump that Matt Gaetz is in jail and it totally sucks and he needs help at GoFundMe.com. Please tell Mr. Trump that I really need his help. I know he has my number. And so does Don Jr. And so does Eric. And so does Laura. And that douche Jared. Mr. Trump, please get me out of here. I know you can help me. Don't you remember all those good times we had? All those awesome photos I showed you on my phone on Air Force One? Gates with a Z. You remember? I'm the guy you kept thinking was your son, Barron? Please. Anyway, I gotta go. Subscribe and give us a good review. And I want to thank Jim Jordan for always standing by me. Thank you, Jim. I knew you would never look the other way. And I also want to thank God and shit. Peace out, bitches.
Hey there, it's Stephanie Miller. If you're like me and you love sharp political insight, pointy, you like it pointy and sharp, bold opinions, and a touch of humor to make sense of these crazy times, have I got some fantastic news for you. The Political Voices Network is now on Substack. This is your new go-to for the best in independent media. We're talking about my show streaming daily with episodes on demand, the fearless of journalism of Brian Karem, the brilliant side-splitting satire of John Fugelsang, the unrelenting working class advocacy
legacy of Rick Smith, and so much more. Here's the best part. Subscribing is so easy. You can join for free or go to the extra mile. Support these incredible independent voices by signing up for a full subscription starting at just $8. You'll get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a chance to directly fuel fearless, unfiltered media. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the movement keeping truth alive in an era of corporate media overload. Every subscription helps, especially yours. One more time, that is politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Sign up now. Do it.
So that's the hard part. It's people like me. There are millions of us saying, how did we miss this? How did we miss all these people who have so lost the plot? And it's frustrating.
Well, look at Elon Musk. How are you the richest guy in the world? And it's still not enough. You got to make poor kids suffer, because you need more money, right?
Well, it's a testament to the fact that, what money does ultimately is reveal your character. And the more you get of it, the more of that character is exposed. And I think someone like Musk and someone like Trump, it just shows they're inherently miserable people because they have everything. And yet there's still this sense of grievance constantly. And that's what I'm trying to fight for, is for people to retain their sense of joy, because that is really the way we fight this. That is the antidote to exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, John, I'm a former Catholic girl. You might have missed that. I'm not a practicing Catholic. I got so good I went professional, so I don't practice anymore. But I always say to Chris, I struggle with, we all know in our personal lives, when someone makes a horrible choice, like marriage, whatever, you want to welcome them back and go, okay, And so I know that we need to figure, how did all of these people that voted for Trump, how do you, because obviously we're hearing all of these stories and seeing some of it in polling of people effing around and finding out pretty damn quick. All the things we tried to say, we tried to scream. And I'm telling you, I am not the man you are. I don't know if I can be, but let me just read a little. You said in our new Cold War, we may need to cut ties with Trump supporters. And you just said, I really hate this. I mean, I really didn't want to be here, to be feeling this, to be writing it, to be saying it. I've always believed in meeting people where they are and trying to understand those who don't agree with me. As a pastor for a decade, I work to bridge the divides between people, to champion diversity as our highest calling. My first book, called A Bigger Table, was centered around respecting each person's story, making room in the life-giving community so that each human being was seen and heard and respected. Then he began his first presidential campaign. You said, since then, I've devoted nearly a decade of my life trying to convince people who I thought were decent, rational, loving, not to be deceived by his phony religious pandering or his transparent fake patriotism, to avoid being tricked by the bigotry and fear he trafficked in. I worked tirelessly to let them know I was for them, that I opposed him because I cared for their safety and well-being more than he ever could. I realized in many ways I failed to read the room, even if it was a room I spent my entire life in. Mm-hmm. And here's where the punchline. You said, I finally had to admit that many of these people were not at all decent, rational, or loving after all, that his cruelty, his violence, his hatred were what they wanted. It wasn't about them not understanding him, but about me not understanding them. Mm-hmm. They weren't manipulated by him. They were empowered by him. In so many cases, he didn't poison their hearts. He reflected them. They didn't get fooled by a bigot. They got freed by one. Oh my God, John, that is some amazing stuff that you wrote. Just talk more about it.
Yeah, it is something that I grieve as I write that, but I think there's a huge difference between people who are fully indoctrinated into the cult at this moment and then the vast swath of people who may have voted for him who still do have that decency, and maybe they have been manipulated, maybe they've been fooled, maybe bad theology, fearful religion has skewed the way they view the world. And so there is what I would call the humane middle still, even if they voted Republican because that's just what they've done all their lives. And so those people, I think, we still have a way to reach them. There are some who are just simply doubled down and they're actually celebrating what's happening right now. And those are the people that, in the interest of self-preservation, we may have to separate from them, or maybe just to affirm who we are, just to work more fully into the work of justice and compassion, we may have to create new communities. And that's what I see doing the work I do. The people who coalesce around the writing, they have this affinity for humanity, and they don't, they're religious, they're non-religious, and they're just saying that we need to do better as a species. And that's what I think I've been trying to do.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Let me. Here's what my biggest struggle is. I know, because Chris says this. They say, like, oh, they think liberal, that's why we lost. They think liberals talk down to us, and, they think we're stupid. And this is what I struggle with. I'm like, how could you, Arab American, think that he was going to be better for Palestinians? Like, you know what I mean? All of these stories. How, Latino community, could you have thought the all Mexicans or rapist guy was going to not deport your undocumented relative? How? Where are your critical thinking skills? And then I'm like, and here I am. Now I look like I'm calling them stupid and I'm talking down to them. But, how do you welcome people back? Because we're all trapped in the burning, exploding Tesla together now because of them.
Yeah, that's what I try to remind people. None of us are going to be spared from this. And I think, Stephanie, what I try to do is say, whatever horrible position someone might have, it probably comes from a lack of something, whether that's a lack of education about the issues, whether it's a lack of good people around them telling them, hey, this is probably not the best way to live, or maybe they have a lack of an upbringing that exposed them to diversity. So whatever that lack is, I don't want to penalize someone for that. I don't want to be punitive, but I want to figure out how I can fill in that gap that they have had that will give them access. Because I was raised in the church. I'm a white cisgender guy who, had the privilege bundle my whole life. I could have easily been a white supremacist. I could have easily been a Christian nationalist, but it's only that I was exposed to certain people or different ideas at the right time. And I want to give that to people so that they can learn, not so that they can agree with me, but so they can stop being horrible human beings.
Yeah. Let me read a little more you to you, even though you were there, presumably, because you wrote it.
Yeah,
I do this because other people don't read, or Donald Trump wouldn't be president again. You said, honestly, this all feels impossible to process. This was so cathartic to me, Johnny, writing, because I think that's the biggest thing is we all feel like we're taking crazy pills. And, and this is why we need, like, as you say, community. You just said, I have a feeling you understand tens of millions are sitting with these heartbreaking truths right now as we watch every conceivable assault on our system of finance, education, personal liberty, national security, human rights being laid to waste in hell. The sequel. We need to talk about cutting the tethers to his supporters for good. You say we're boycotting companies who align with and fund him, refusing to patronize local businesses that contribute to his predatory administration, turning off news channels that have bent the knee and kissed the ring long before the election, unfollowing people on social media who become his nonstop surrogates. And you just said it's time for people of faith, morality, and conscience to hold the people in our lives accountable for their willing partnership with this filth. We need to finally sever ties with our family members, friends, neighbors, and coworkers who still champion him if they're going to continue their unwavering allegiance to him, that as he openly tears apart the very foundation of our democracy, sabotages our economy, preys upon vulnerable people, alienates us from our long faithful global allies. At some point, we're obligated to declare unequivocally this isn't something we're willing to compromise about. I mean, I think so many people are there, John, and it, as you say, it almost as a pastor seems like against what you've probably always counseled, right?
Well, yes. And I think the difficulty right now is, as human beings of empathy and critical thinking, we're always going to be in the conflict between our convictions and our relationships, right? We're always trying to figure out, can I be authentic and still have people close to me who share views that are the complete opposite? And right now, that is just at such a critical point where we need to sometimes decide, for the sake of people I don't know and will never meet, I may need to separate from this person I know and love because they're either hindering me from doing the work I need to be doing or they're causing me to censor myself. So many people message me and they say, I'm in this family situation, I'm in this marriage or this church where I can't dissent or I will be pushed to the periphery. And that pull for community is another part of this. Millions of people are terrified of being expelled from the places they call home. And that's what we need, people who are courageous right now. If we had more people in the church who had some sort of sense of moral fiber, we probably wouldn't be here. But they acquiesce because they want to stay where they are.
Father, I'm not done with my confession. Now, let me just say in my personal... I think Satan comes in the form of a super hot lesbian. Let me tell you something that happened personally. But because I was just thinking, like, think I'm friends with any Trump supporters, and certainly not deliberately.
Yes, that's right.
But anyway, I had an ex who's, let me just say, super hot, John.
Yes, she's very, very, very pretty.
Super hot.
Excellent. Good.
Came to a party, because I hadn't seen her in a while, whatever. And anyway, I found out through someone else that she voted for Trump. And so, Bella audibly gasped. That was an audible pearl clutching.
Right, couldn't hold
but
it
I
in.
thought, oh my God, because of course you think, oh, should we try again? And I thought, oh my God, that would be, as your piece says, a deal breaker for me. To me, you are morally disgusting if you voted for Trump. I'm sorry. I don't know any other way to put it than the way you've sort of phrased it here.
Yeah, well, I have family members who are LGBTQ, excuse me, pardon me.
Oh, pardon you. Yeah.
And family members who are LGBTQ, and I have other friends and other extended family members who are, Trump supporters outwardly, and I say to them, I want you to understand what you're saying to people I love every time you do that. And that goes for people who are immigrants or people of color or for women. Every time you champion him, what you're doing is you're saying that you disapprove of them or you marginalize them. And at some point, adults have to be accountable for this. You can't just say, oh, I like his policies on this or that. This is about the inherent value of all human beings. And do you believe in that or not? And if you do, it's time to actually make a decision to push against him. And that's just where we are.
And as you know, God tests us, because on my flight to D.C. for D.C. Sexy Liberal, I was seated next to a MAGA lady in a MAGA hat. So that was my personal hell. But,
mine is that being the pilot.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. But I mean, she kept introducing me to other, maggots that were getting on the plane and she's going, oh, she's not for Trump, but she's really nice. And I thought, I'm like, right, because I was raised right. I'm not going to be a-hole to your face, so that's
Yes.
I think that's not what you're advocating. You're just saying, I think it would be hard to be friends with, date, marry someone, that had those beliefs. But I mean, I'm not going to be rude to someone I'm sitting next to on a plane. I mean,
No, and that's the thing, in this article, I talk about at the end, and one of the comments, we don't do this with malice and we don't do this with joy. We simply say, I can't have proximity to you right now. And I think we're allowed to say that. And the heart of this is that, Trump supporters will call me hateful. And someone last night said, you sound just like Trump on the other side. And I said, well, the moment that I advocate for you not having the right to your own body or to marry the person you love or to live where you want to live, then you can make that comparison. Mm-hmm. But I'm never saying that Trump supporters shouldn't exist, shouldn't have healthcare choices. Yeah. And that's the sad thing. It's not an equal, it's not reciprocal.
That's it. That's exactly it, is that we care about their well-being. They don't care about ours. That's what any therapist would say. You need to distance yourself, from that. All right, 20. I mean, it's so good. You need to stay here for several hours. Who's up for working all day? Oh, just me.
That's right.
21 minutes after the hour. We have John for the hour. Oh,
No.
we don't?
No,
Oh,
we don't.
shoot.
No.
Oh, you're kidding.
We have Congressman at the
That's
bottom.
the saddest thing that's ever happened to me ever
Well,
since I
hey,
didn't get that pony.
Well, we'll still be here tomorrow. Anytime you need me, Stephanie, you just call.
And you can visit him at johnpavlovitz.com.
Yeah, please follow him. Read his stuff. So brilliant. John, sorry. I'm old and I forgot we only had one segment.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That
Those
sucks.
pesky members of Congress always interrupting.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you, my
Thank you,
friend.
John. See you soon. All right.
All right, be well.
All right. 21 minutes after. I'm just going to call you Dad. I know you have a name, but I have daddy issues and I love you. So, good morning, Dad.
That's good.
Oh my God, where do we even start? I'm telling you, I always say this to you, but you are one of my bright lights. Like all of these, us in this space. Like I go to you on social media. I that's all we can do is just keep telling the truth. Keep saying no, it's not you. You're not taking crazy pills. This is as bad as it seems, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is, and thank you for having me back. It's always a great pleasure to be here with you, Stephanie. Sometimes you have to scratch yourself or pinch yourself to make sure you're not dreaming in a nightmare, because it feels like a waking nightmare most of the time for so many different.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we were just talking to you off air just because we happen to be out here in California, but Harvey threaded about it. When the Central Valley can't harvest crops this summer because the water's gone, and Trump points a finger at Gavin Newsom for prices going up, please, for the love of God, remember that it was Trump that demanded the water be released. And I was saying that's an act of terrorism. What Elon Musk is doing is cyber terrorism. This is how bad it is, right?
Yeah. And what bugs me is I feel like I often feel like we don't have enough responsible, courageous people stepping up, people who have that kind of platform to step up and say, you know what, Mr. Trump, I'm not going to call him the P word, but you know what, Mr. Trump, you're not being helpful. All right. Let those of us who know what we're doing do what we know how to do.
Yeah.
And you sit the F back and shut the F up.
Yeah.
Right.
And, we've won. Obviously, we've got a couple of, judges that have stopped some of this horror show temporarily. I mean, we're going to have victories. I was looking at this one. This is why you always talk about the media is still important. Kyle Griffin, our friend, said a staffer for unelected billionaire Elon Musk's Doge has links to a deleted social media account that advocated for racism and eugenic immigration policy. Oh, eugenics is back.
Oh, yeah.
The 25-year-old employee Marco Ellis, who has since resigned, was embedded in the Treasury Department to carry out so-called efficiency measures. But to the point, it's because that saw the light of day, right? That he had to resign.
If you had to ask me what was the least surprising news tidbit from yesterday or from this week, that would probably be it. Because I mean, we all saw Elon do the Hail Trump, the Hail Trump gesture, and everybody trying to explain it away as, oh no, he was just he's on the spectrum. No, he was extra excited. No, he had a muscle spasm. All the different excuses they rolled out just to come on, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
he is.
Rashid said this. He said, color me shocked, the man who did 2 Nazi salutes hired a Doge employee who believed in eugenics, white supremacy, and racial segregation. He's resigned now, not because he's embarrassed about being a Nazi, but because he got caught. MAGAs gave access to all of our private information to these fascists. But, again, that was one act of resistance that worked. Tristan Snell, our friend, said that. He said, by the way, Marco Elise did not quit because of woke libtards. He quit because the Wall Street Journal called him to ask about his racist eugenics tweets. So, I mean, we talked to Glenn Kirshner earlier, Majid, and it's, I called you your real name, like Santa Claus. I mean, I'm sorry, Batman. But, it's just the rule of law doesn't stop existing. You know what I mean? We can't, just because they don't believe in it means that we give up on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that bothered me more than the racist revelation of his little worker is the fact that some internet randos, like, they're around their late teens and early 20s, have access to all of our most private stuff.
Oh, hi. Come, walk with me. I kind of want to talk about the least of my people. You know, every year around this time, I always got to try real hard to not smack upside the head all these hypocrites, snakes, and vipers who call undocumented U.S. workers illegals. I don't like getting angry, but this shit makes me want to flip a table. Illegals is a racist, dehumanizing, otherizing term. It's designed to make other people appear less than human, so you won't feel bad when you treat them inhumanely. It's a really shitty noun. Ask yourself this: when's the last time Fox News called any other kind of lawbreaker an illegal? If you do 56 in a 55 zone, aren't you an illegal too? Huh? Come on. Now, you wouldn't know it from watching Tucker, but the majority of undocumented immigrants in this country are people who overstayed their visas. However, he who tucks in his brood of vipers say illegals, and they're always referring to brown people crossing a border. Here's a dirty secret. Politicians could end undocumented immigration tomorrow if they wanted by locking up the white people who do all the hiring. This is supply and demand economics, my friends. There's a gigantic help wanted sign at our southern border, and there's no wall you can ever build that'll be big enough to hide it. And politicians of both parties are in no rush to take down the help wanted sign. Rich people pay Fox people to make working people blame poor people. Now here's 10 facts about illegal people. Number 1. Undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than U.S.-born citizens. Why? Fear of deportation. So imagine if we could do that to homegrown criminals. Number 2. Undocumented immigrants pay state, local, and sales tax over $400 billion in 2017 alone. Those guys standing outside Home Depot looking for day labor work, they're not the ones who outsource your job to China. By the way, racist idiots, there are no national politicians currently calling for open borders or amnesty. Anyone who tells you there are is lying, or as I like to call it, bearing false witness. You know who did call for that? Ronald Reagan. That's right, the star of all your right-wing porn fantasies. St. Ronnie gave amnesty to millions of undocumented people and claimed that open borders allows them to just go home when they're done working here. But don't feel bad, you racist douchebags. Reagan still supported apartheid. You ever notice whenever they raid one of these meatpacking plants down south and they arrest several hundred illegal workers, they're a lot slower to arrest the guys in the back room who did the hiring, who are counting all the cash. And that is all the proof you need to know that the illegal immigration scare is regressive gaslighting bullshit. Donald Trump hires undocumented labor. Going back to the 80s, it was Polish workers who built Trump Tower, but they never got called illegals because they're white. Even as president, Trump continued to employ undocumented workers. He's now done it in 2 different centuries, all to avoid paying American workers a living wage. You are being suckered by millionaire at birth hypocrites. Does it physically hurt to be this freaking gullible? Oh, let's talk about the wall. You morons understand that they were never actually going to build a physical medieval wall for thousands of miles stretching across deserts and rivers and forests and private and commercial properties and seizing land from American citizens using eminent domain law, right? You understand that was a scam? It wasn't going to get finished. Mexico was never going to pay for it. And even if they had, twits, ladders and shovels are things. They looted the military for a scam. Steve Bannon was ripping people off and Trump pardoned him for it.
Now these boys from Doge roll in violation of the Constitution, in violation of the law, in flagrant violation. And so we say again, Elon Musk, keep your hands off of Social Security.
Governor Martin O'Malley
This
went on
is
to say,
not about efficiency. This is about 2 things. This is about 2 things. This is about stealing the personal data of Americans, and it is about taking a lifetime of earned benefits, your Social Security benefits, and turning it into a Bitcoin bank.
Thank you, Governor O'Malley. Can I just say, anyone that Elon Musk has called a D, we love even more than we used to. Representative Ro Khanna joins us now.
Yes.
Yeah, that was quite the snappy comeback. He just said, "Don't be a D," to you. But so, Representative, let's talk about. So you missed the vote. So obviously there was a lot of controversy about this. Now I have a fake fireplace in here. I'm just going to hold your feet to the fake fire, so it's not going to be that bad. But so you had this. He was responding to you tweeting. You said, "Hold please." Hang on. I have so many of your tweets. You said, "I would have voted yes. They called a procedural vote without notice, and I, like 8 others, didn't make it there on time. Musk's attacks on our institutions are unconstitutional. He should be subpoenaed and answer to our committees. They should call the vote again with notice." So at any rate, just explain that, because people were upset about it.
Sure. Well, Musk didn't notice the entire committee's thing. He noticed when I said he should be subpoenaed, and he actually responded because that had more power. But what happened is that there was a vote early on where 8 Republicans, many Republicans were missing. Connolly thought that he could sneak a vote, even though 2 Democrats were out. The Republicans came back for the vote, but we should do the vote again. The important part is that I was very clear that.
Right. Wow, this is really bad audio. Can you hear me any better than I can hear you? You sound like you're in a fish tank.
So there's a little bit of friction.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you fired back at Musk saying, "Elon, we've known each other a long time. You can't stop payments that Congress have authorized and appropriated. Make recommendations to Congress, but don't stop payments." That's Article 1. Also, let's debate why we need the Doge or whatever. So, because you famously, I mean, I guess you've been called like the Elon whisperer because you've known him for a long time. You're from Silicon Valley. And so I think in the beginning you expressed a willingness to work together. But, you know, I'm hoping, and it seems like from your statements, that you realize that he's not doing what he said he was going to do. This is not about cutting waste or fraud. I mean, people are I think, really alarmed. Just talk about where you are now on this.
Well, they should be, and I think it gives me a unique vantage point. I mean, look, Elon was a supporter of President Obama. He supported Hillary Clinton. I've known him for 15 years. And what I said is if he was going to offer actual proposals to cut defense, to blow the defense budget, then it's fine. And Senator Bernie Sanders was before, and I actually proposed what he could do if he was actually going to go after the waste and spending. I mean, the reality is that U.S. aid is 0.1% of our federal budget.
Yeah.
If you want to really go after things, it's the Pentagon. But he hasn't done that, and the line that he's crossed is doing things that are blatantly unconstitutional. You can have a view that you should have a willingness to go after wasteful government spending, but not the Constitution. And until there's a constitutional adherence, there's no Democrat who can work on it.
Yeah, because if you are the Elon whisperer, could you just whisper to him, "Get the out of our treasury," on behalf of all of us? Did you see the scene in Splash where Daryl Hannah's in the tank and Tom Hanks is talking to her? Because that's how I hear you. I'm so sorry we have such bad audio. We've been waiting to get you back on. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, he can hear you. I can hear you, but there's a static, and I don't know why.
Okay.
Static.
I'm hoping people can understand what you're saying because it's important. Okay. So yeah, you've been obviously, tweeting a lot about, the fact that I think people are just alarmed that I can't believe we're at a point where they're saying that they may not, abide by court orders, right? Which means we are in a constitutional crisis now, right?
We are, and the Democrats need to recognize the moment that we have power. We're not. We're not without agency. What we say is not a single vote on the debt ceiling, not a single vote to cooperate with the Republicans until they agree in a steadfast, ironclad commitment to spend what Congress is mandating. And they need the Democratic votes. They just don't have enough votes among the Republicans to be able to raise the debt ceiling or to be able to keep government open. Now, this is, I think, the leadership that our caucus needs to provide.
So, do you have? Give me Mike Johnson. I just want to play this for Representative. This is Representative. What's his name? Is he Speaker? Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're fully supportive of what the Doge effort is doing and what the president is doing. It's a very aggressive agenda that was promised to the voters. Remember, he's delivering on campaign promises right now. We are going to be codifying a lot of these changes, and what they've uncovered is frankly shocking. This is a good development. I wish the courts would allow the executive and the legislative branches to work.
So obviously, we are here because they're not allowing. He's abdicating his duty, Congress's duty, right? He's just saying, okay, we don't need the power of the purse. It's just whatever Trump and President Musk say. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. The framers, when they wrote Federalist 51, when Madison wrote it, never expected that the Speaker of the House would just say, I don't want power. I'll just be a wholly owned subsidiary of the president. But that's literally what's happening. And the reality is that Trump is not fulfilling his campaign promises. His campaign promise was to not tax overtime wages, to not tax tips. That's how he won some of the working class. He never talked about stopping the portals that provide funding for Medicaid. He never talked about cutting cancer research. He never talked about cutting funding for decent schools and working neighborhoods. Right now, what they are doing, frankly, is not even the Trump agenda. It is the Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney agenda, which is to take away funding from working class Americans and their families. And they're not even doing it through Congress because they know it's so unpopular. They basically have Doge stopping these payments. Trump was smart enough when he ran in 16, 20, and 24 to realize how unpopular that was. But it's been hijacked by a Project 2025 radical agenda that is doing something deeply unpopular without Congress.
Yeah. What I mean, and by the way, so the House Judiciary sent a letter to Pam Bondi expressing concerns about Musk's role at Doge, whatever it is, creates conflicts of interest due to what they say are his sprawling financial interests in federal contracts and subsidies. I mean, that just seems clear, and also that he's trying to destroy agencies that were investigating him. So where are we on the subpoenaing him? Because I know you by the way, you again tweeted about this. I didn't abstain. 8 of us missed the vote. There's a difference. I genuinely did not know the vote on the Musk subpoena would be called. I left committee where I was at the gavel to meet the ambassador to Mexico, and I then returned. So are they going to have that vote again? Because when he says, unelected judges, he's not elected, Representative. He's unelected, right? He owes it, I think, to the American people to come explain what he's doing.
Well, absolutely he owes it, and he should do it, frankly, voluntarily. If he thinks that he's overcome all of these issues and he's exposing sunlight, why not come to the Congress and tell the American people what he's found? But absolutely, we should have a vote on the subpoena. But look, the Republicans control the committee, so the vote is unlikely to pass, though every Democrat should be for it, and they should. Connolly should call the vote. They should let us know when the vote is, and everyone should go on the record. And I certainly would vote for a subpoena. But sending letters and just having cosmetic votes on a subpoena is not what's going to stop this. What's going to stop this is Democratic leadership making it very, very clear that we're not going to give a single vote on the debt ceiling increase.
Yeah.
Until we get an ironclad commitment that all of the congressional mandated spending takes.
So let's talk about USAID for a minute. You said it reduces malnutrition, pregnancy complications, the spread of HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria around the world, cutting global health programs that account for barely 1/10% of the U.S. budget but save millions of lives is immoral. We need to fund USAID now. I was saying, we were just speaking to a former pastor, and it is amazing to have to convince, people that call themselves Christians or whatever they want to say that it's moral to help people, that you have to explain to them those diseases are going to come here and kill you and your family. So that's why you know what I mean? Like you think U.S. used to just do the right thing because it's the right thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, these are programs that help prevent millions of kids from dying from malaria or millions of people in Africa from dying from HIV/AIDS. It was one of the signature achievements of George W. Bush. It's not even a Republican or Democratic thing. We used to think that there is some American morality that we help people in other parts of the world, and it's what made America the beacon for all nations, that we did this as opposed to other nations. Now you've got China that is doing a lot of the economic aid and economic development far more than us. And so how do we be the leader of the free world when we're not willing to lead? But the biggest hypocrisy here is that if you're really going after government waste, if you really want to lower the deficit, $36 trillion deficit, you wouldn't start with an agency that's 0.1% of the federal budget. You would start maybe with the agency, the Pentagon, that is 56% of the discretionary.
Well, we were saying, if you're trying to cut waste, you bring in accountants, not coders, not 20-year-old coders that, have access now to all of our private data. You said Medicare, veterans benefits, Social Security payments, and more on the line. If an unappointed DOJ member is allowed to control payments from the Department of Treasury, Democrats need to continue to call on Elon to answer to Americans and stand up for working class people. Who was it that was, I think it was Kristi Noem was on TV and said, well, people can't trust America. We can't trust the government. And they said, you are the government.
Right.
They're in charge now. They are the government, right?
Well, this is the irony. Look, the government has provided Social Security, it's provided funding for decent schools in working class neighborhoods. It's provided loans for middle class and working class kids to complete their education, vocational or college. It provides funding for families with special needs kids. It has provided Medicare that funds so many of our healthcare. And yet Democrats' cardinal sin has been that for the last 50 years, we have basically been unwilling to defend what government does in people's lives. We have had statements saying we're all Milton Friedmanites. The era of big government is over. And so we have not explained to the American people all the things government does. Yeah. And that's why so many people think, the federal government is bad, not realizing how much their own families benefit from it. This is a moment for Democrats to say the federal government is a force for good in your lives. And we need Democrats to clearly state that.
So let's, before we go, talk about how Trump is blowing up the rest of the world in addition to our own country, because I think you tweeted it's not just about Palestine, Greenland, or Panama. It's about standing up against the 19th century colonizers' model of the world. He appears, Representative, to be in the process of blowing up the hostage deal by this ridiculousness about, no Palestinians don't get to return and I'm going to own Gaza. It's just hard to conceive of what the damage he's done in 3 weeks, isn't it?
Well, he's born in the wrong century. He can't be James Polk. It's not just immoral. That's not how power works in the a modern world. And the proposal on forcing the expulsion of 2 million Palestinians from their homeland is not just immoral. It's also unworkable. Egypt and Jordan have said they're not going to take Palestinians in, and they know there would be civil war in their countries if they were that destabilized. Netanyahu himself was kind of bemused and didn't know what Trump was saying because he knows that the proposal is unworkable. So there's a lack of seriousness. Meanwhile, China is saying, look, to grow modern power, we're going to spend billions of dollars building new factories, investing in electric vehicles, investing in batteries, investing in solar. We're going to spend money building allies with other countries. And we are frittering away our lead. And that is the biggest thing that Democrats should be pointing out, is that it's not just he's violating the Constitution, he is actually hurting America's power and leadership in the world.
Well, listen, you had the best of intentions as someone that, has worked with Elon Musk, saying, if you're going to actually cut waste, we're willing to work with you. But, I think at this point, Democrats want you to stand up, not just you, all Democrats, against this fascism. We don't want you to work with fascists. And so I think your life goal should be to get called a D by Elon Musk every single day. And I hope you.
I have been the one person who stood up to him and has elicited a clear response. I will continue to stand up for the Constitution and be willing to take him on. I took on the vice president. He had a Twitter exchange. Someone said to me, you took on Trump's left and right hand in the same week. But we need Democrats who are going to stand up, but stand up not just screaming to the wind outside these agencies, which looks impotent, but to take on power in a way that's actually going to elicit them to respond and look effective and strong.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what the people want. It's not just, okay, who's going to be at the latest protest. It's how are we going to have a strategy that actually pushes back effectively?
Yes.
I would still wear it physically as a badge of honor. I'm going to send you a pin that says Elon Musk called me, and I'm proud of it.
Thank you.
You wear it.
I'll wear it pride.
Yes, absolutely.
Representative Rokana, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Congressman.
All right, there he goes.
Uh,
Elon Musk destroyed the treasury, and all I got was a stupid T-shirt.
Right.
Something. I don't know. I'll think of something. 49 minutes after the hour, this portion of the show. This show is going to have to become 7 hours a day, and you're going to have to be on several of them for all motions. Don't even. I have to ask Chris every morning. I guess, this is so exhausting, the amount of lawsuits, because it seems like the only guardrail left, right? I mean, this is a federal judge has paused Trump's buyout offer that Senator Warner was just talking about for federal government employees, could block the move altogether. He issued an order pausing the buyout hours before the deadline. It's Norm Eisen's lawsuit, right, that has paused Elon Musk and his, incels being able to root around in our private information. Just talk to us about where we are in general legally, because I can't even keep up with all of it.
Yeah, good morning, Steph. Good news, bad news. The good news is these lawsuits are having the desired effect. They're, federal judges are telling Donald Trump and his co-president Elon Musk, cut it out, stop it, you're enjoined, you can't do it. They're putting pauses on what appear to be illegal schemes by Trump and company to force people out of government. That's the good news. The federal bench is holding strong, and it will continue to hold strong. The less good news from my perspective is what happens when Donald Trump and his administration stops complying with federal court orders. That plunges us into true constitutional crisis territory. But now I'm going to finish with good news. The good news is he has already alienated the FBI. In the event he wants to go rogue and stop complying with lawful court orders, who would he have to turn to as his preeminent law enforcement agency to have his back? The FBI. And I'll tell you, he has alienated the rank and file, the thousands and thousands of FBI agents. So it is good that, he's pushing them away. That will reap benefits, I believe, in the future.
I mean, Glenn, we just were saying in the first segment, how many people did he just pardoned 2 weeks ago? Couple dead in police shootouts with, one just killed someone in a drunk driving accident. A couple have been arrested on child solicitation, porn. I mean, this is what lawlessness looks like. But you're right. At least those people are still getting arrested and apprehended. Yeah, you said I stand with the men and women of the FBI who investigated the crimes. We all saw Trump's angry mob commit on January 6th. They did the hard, honest, ethical work of protecting we the people in American democracy. Now it's our turn to stand with them. Are you in? I'm in. I was with our friend Harry Dunn, just at Sexy Liberal. When was that? Was it 2 weeks ago? But, the judge yesterday, right, said that, Officer Fanone's, what did she say? Heroism is not moot, even though she's had to dismiss the charges because of the pardons, right?
Yeah, and some more good news, Steph. He is galvanizing all kinds of individuals and organizations and countries against him. That will be helpful as we move forward because eventually, I think all of this is going to implode or explode. And I don't know, how we will pick up the pieces. But, he's turning so many people against him, the FBI, the federal prosecutors, all of government, anybody who doesn't want to turn Gaza into Disneyland. I mean, he is really galvanizing world consensus against him. I actually think that's a good thing. That's going to be helpful.
Yeah. Well, and you said those are part of the lawsuits. 2 FBI agents filed 2 lawsuits against the DOJ to prevent unlawful firing of agents. And to your point, you said there are more people who want American democracy to survive than there are people who want to destroy it. Let's act accordingly. I mean, that's our biggest fight, is against despair and just, being overwhelmed with this. I don't even know what to call it these last 2 weeks, right?
I don't mind telling you, the first couple of weeks, I felt like I was at the end of my rope every day. And I would wake up in the morning with a knot in my stomach. I'd try to find more rope to hang on to. I am now beginning to embrace the lawlessness, recognizing that it will hurt him more than it will help him.
Yeah.
The more lawless conduct he engages in, the more U.S. and world opinion will turn against him. So you know what? Bring on the lawlessness. And boy, did he do just that by having Pam Bondi sworn in?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking yesterday about, Elon Musk's approval rating has plummeted, which, because of course we keep saying like people didn't vote for this. Although I would say you could have gotten a clue from him jumping around on stage like a, some kind of psychotic jumping bean behind Trump. Happened. You are just as tortured by Bella's cuteness as I am, aren't you, Jody?
I am.
Yeah.
I said to Lonnie this morning, I said it was a really good hire.
Yeah.
Oh,
she is a delight. Can you believe the boss of me is a 22-year-old with nose rings? I mean, I don't. She wraps me hard, man. She rules with an iron fist. Christopher.
Uh-oh.
Who's... And yet you still lack belief in him. Who said the Constitution gives Congress the power of the purse, not the White House? These funds have already been allocated. They help families afford food, heat their homes, pay for childcare, go to the doctor, and more. This is worse than Project 2025.
HR puffing stuff.
No, that was Representative Ro Khanna, who just left us. There is a theme to today's Guess the Quote.
Okay, then.
Who said, as we stare into the abyss, we're past the point of healthy compromise or a simple agreement to disagree on debatable topics. The path forward for this nation won't be about everyone coming together, and it doesn't need to be. It'll be about those of us who will not abide this brutality, standing together against those who are celebrating it.
Interplanet Janet.
No, that's Pastor John Pavlovitz, who we had on earlier. Who will probably be in the Happy Hour podcast, correct?
Yes, on Friday.
On Friday. Okay. Who said you may choose as a matter of faith or moral conviction to keep trying to preserve your relationships with people you know and love who still support him, and I respect that, but maybe, just maybe, our faith and morality need to show up now in spines and strength, in voices that finally say, enough. Who said that?
Conjunction Junction.
No.
I met that guy.
John Pavlovitz, who's fantastic. Hey, here's another reference that Bella will not get.
Yay!
That's become the theme of the show since Bella started. Will Bella get this reference?
In their 1 year of existence, the approximately 34,000 cyber trucks on the roads had 5 fire fatalities, giving them a fatality rate of 14.5 per 100,000 units. That is 17 times the fatality rate of Ford Pintos.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Bella was born way after. Remember
Way
the
after.
exploding Ford Pinto jokes?
I remember those.
I used to ride around in a Pinto.
Oh.
We had to buy one for its parts.
They had a famously flawed gas tank design on the car's rear end that led to 27. You know what? And Elon Musk has outdone that. Nicely done with your stupid, ugly Cybertruck. I've never seen anything.
Swastikars.
So, yes, don't call them swastikars. He hates that.
Or deplorians.
And don't call them Doge bags, the boys that work with him.
But they are.
Right?
But they are.
Who let them out?
And
I
they're
forget.
ugly.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Who let the
Doge.
Doge.
Yeah. What? Yep. Listen, the magic of Jody Hamilton not only graces this studio every Tuesday, she now will be on the Bob Seska show along with David Ferguson. Hilarious. Every Tuesday and Thursday, because Cliff Schechter is off doing other things, so he'll be on my show and Bob's from time to time. But Jody and David every Tuesday and Thursday. Very exciting.
It is.
Okay. Mommy's gonna, I need to go